Hello and welcome to Bounding Live. My name is John Trent. I am the editor-in-chief of Bounding into Comics, and I'm joined by a huge panel tonight. We have special guest ComixDivison with us, as well as our normal panelists and my co-hosts, Jorge the Armored Otter Arenas, Drew Taylor, the Supreme Heretic, Script Doctor, who we still don't know what his real name is, and we're not really trying to find out, Donald Edmonds, and Spencer Bakuli. Thank you all for joining us. I see we have some folks already in the chat. Lopter, Demon King of Inferno, always with the first comment. Mark 63366 is going to have to beat him next week. We'll see if that's possible. So thank you guys for joining us. I know we're broadcasting to both Twitter and YouTube right now. So if you're on Twitter or YouTube, we appreciate you joining us. All right. So as we always do, we're going to start our show with kind of what we have been enjoying over the past week, whether that's a comic book, a novel, a nonfiction book, TV show, movie, video game, or whatnot, and just kind of anything that we're enjoying. So we'll start off with the person, I guess, to my left. Jorge, we'll start with you.
All righty. Well, this week's been a little interesting. I'm rereading some old Lovecraft short stories. Started out with The Outsider, and I'm about to wrap it up with Dagon. I always like going back every year, at least once a year, and reread some of his old work. He's one of my favorite writers, and it kind of, rejuvenates me for the year. I'm still playing some Stellaris right now, getting my butt kicked by aliens. It really sucks, but I had it coming for turning that on.
Are you reading Lovecraft to be prepared for Lovecraft Country, the J.J. Abrams British show? That's really looking forward to that, right?
Honestly, I don't hate myself that much. I'm reading Lovecraft because at the rate this year is going, I'm expecting Cthulhu to just straight up pop out of the ocean in the Pacific somewhere.
At this point, it wouldn't be surprising. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of expected at this point.
All right, we will move on to our special guest, ComixDivison. What have you been enjoying this past week?
I've been reading a lot of Berserk and My Hero Academia, which is both really, really good manga. I read as much like comics as I used to. So, yeah.
No, I'm with you. I struggle to almost find the time to kind of sit down and just enjoy myself because I'm always busy working and just life kind of is taking over now. But
I've also been messing around with Godot, which is it's a open source application you can use to write games with, which is something I've been messing around with for like the past few months.
Well, what kind of, is it any specific type of game?
You could use it to do anything like a 2D RPGs, platformers, 3D games. It's like Unity if you've seen Unity.
Hey, make a platform game for John. He loves platformers.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on, man. I've been wanting to do like an RPG for years, but I'm doing like a platformer first because they're a lot easier to make.
Drew just baited you. Platformers.
You hate platformers? Okay.
I can't stand them.
All right.
So everyone was like praising Jedi Fallen Order, and Drew was like raving about it, and I was like, all right, I gotta check it out, like see if it's actually any good. And then I was like, holy crap, this is like a platformer, and they advertised it as an action RPG, and I was like, I'm done. I think I got like a third of the way through the game, and I was just like, I'm tired of like trying to ski down this like ice slope in order to like catch a freaking rope hanging there so I can swing to get some kind of like chest.
Those are the worst, man.
No thanks.
3D platformers are the worst. 2D not so bad.
Yeah, 2Ds aren't so bad. Original, like I would call original Mario. That's a platformer.
Yeah, it's a platformer.
Yeah, that is enjoyable. But the 3D ones, like, no thanks. I'm just like, no.
You'll be happy to know that the platformer I'm working on is 2D.
Okay.
And it's pixel art.
There you go.
Well, comics, you can actually make a buck or two if you use that thing on Steam where they have for developers. I mean, you just throw your game up there and sell it.
Yeah, that's kind of the plan at some point once I get something kind of functional.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah. How are you reading Berserk? Did you buy the Dark Horse collections?
I've been getting it off of Comixology currently. I'd like to get the physical copies at some point, but I've just been kind of plowing through it at night.
I highly recommend these collected leatherback editions.
Yeah, I saw the one that that Gary got and the Elric one too, and that's some stuff I like to pick up.
Yeah, those are nice. They're really nice. Yeah, I recommend those. How far are you into My Hero?
Let's see. I think I'm in volume 5.
Okay, that's. I think
You're early.
I think you're a little bit ahead of where I am. I think I have 4, but I just finished reading 3 on there. But yeah, I mean it's hard. It's hard for me to like go back and read something after I've already watched it. It's like,
I haven't watched it yet, so I'm looking forward to it. But the thing I really like about it, it's like the thing that's missing from modern day comics is that kind of hero's journey with Deku, and the fact that he hasn't mastered his abilities yet, and when he uses them, it causes damage to himself. And obviously, that's far more interesting. It's like, how does he kind of compensate and get around? So he like starts sacrificing the various fingers with the snaps and whatnot. So it's I like it. It's good.
Yeah, he has to actually so not only does he have to compensate for like his superpower, but he also has to be like tactical and strategical about like what he's going to do and when he's going to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And they show that off in the what is it, the practice trials or whatever, where you got to throw the ball and stuff like that, and he doesn't use any of his powers until that part because he thinks he's going to fail out. All right, Drew.
All right, so I'm pretty much in my spare time between physical therapy and everything, because that has been like the biggest thing. It's really been testing me, but I've been reading and also doing a little gaming, playing my Halo Master Chief Collection, just trying to get through the campaigns because I want to get to Halo 3, which came out, and I'm still catching up, so I'm playing through the end of Combat Evolved, and I got to get through Halo 2 yet, but I'm almost there. And then speaking of Halo, some of the reading I've been doing, I want to suggest this book to people. Halo Evolutions. This is a collection of short stories. It's really good. It's got a bunch of really good authors in here. It's got Eric Nyland, who did quite a few of the Halo books. Frank O'Connor, who, as we know, is huge in the Halo lore from doing the writing for the games. We've got Karen Travis in there. And if you've read Star Wars books, I mean, I'm pretty, kind of lukewarm on Karen Travis's writing. On some things, I think she's good. On other things, I think she's a bag of hot dog shit. But, it is what it is. And there's the rest of the list is Tobias Bucknell, who's a good writer. And then the rest of the list is kind of just, sort of lesser knowns. But the stories in here are actually really good. And I'm going back and rereading this because I forgot how much I actually enjoy this book of short stories. And it's good because, there's a lot of hype coming. Obviously, in about 4 months, we've got Halo Infinite that's going to hit the scene. And, just to let everybody know, I've got a story I'm working on for that. And that should be up in a day or so. And you can read my article about Halo Infinite. But yeah, I'm just I enjoy it because actually Halo has a really good lore, John. There's a deep lore in that game world. Yeah, good. What'd you say, Spencer?
I just said I love Halo lore. It's some of the best, especially the early stuff.
It really is. It's really extensive. I mean, Halo is just as big a universe as some of the other big sci-fi franchises. Yeah, it's got as much lore, honestly, in it as like Mass Effect, and you would think it's a shooter. How could it be so deep? But yeah, it really does. Have a lot of good sci-fi lore. I'd put it up there with Mass Effect and with things like it's up there probably on the level of like Stargate, stuff like that. It's got a lot of lore in it. So.
All right, let's jump to the chat here real quick before we get to Spencer. I see that Lopter is giving an update on his week. He's still playing Monster Legends. Looks like he's roped in Don as well. Looks like Don might be playing Monster Legends as well. I saw that Mark6336, I'm probably saying his name wrong because I don't have it in front of me. He recommends the Halo Fall of Reach book. I also see we have a couple folks who have also joined the chat. Deviant Porg and Bad Bunny, thank you guys for joining us. But yeah, feel free if you're in the chat to let us know what you guys are enjoying too. Give us recommendations. We appreciate that. So yeah, Don needs tips from me to figure out how to keep all the tabs open. All right, Spencer, we'll hop to you.
Yeah, so this week I've been continuing my run on the Power Rangers comics. I just finished the first storyline where they run into Draken and the alternate Power Rangers, and it's still really good. I really recommend anybody looking for good comics in general just to check it out. I forget the author's name is escaping me for some reason right off the top of my head, but he does.
Ryan Parrott, I think is his name.
Yes, he's fantastic on the title. It makes me excited for his run on Ultraman for Marvel coming up, which is the first time I've been excited for a Marvel book in years. And aside from that, I checked out the Goblin Slayer Goblin's Crown OVA with John, and we reviewed that earlier today. And it was all right. It was pretty good. It's got its moments, but it's always nice to see the Goblin Slayer do his thing.
Yes, I just got an email from Right Stuff that the first volume of the Goblin Slayer manga is on its way.
Nice.
So I'm looking to read that, and then I also
it's good, man. You'll like it.
Okay. Well, I've skimmed some of it just with my job. So, and I've watched the first anime season. So, the anime season's fantastic. I love that. And then I picked up like one of the what was it was one of the spin-offs. I think it's the what is her name? I couldn't remember her name during the stream earlier today too. I saw it. I figured it out. It was like Noble Hero or something. Sword Hero or something. Sword Maiden. The Sword Maiden.
Still can't get yes.
Her. And her like journey to fight the Demon King. So yeah, I love me some Goblin Slayer.
Yeah, it's incredible. So I recommend everybody check it out. Goblin Slayer, Power Rangers, good stuff.
All right, Don, you're next.
Yeah, I'm on Arrakis. They're talking about water.
Isn't that chapter 2?
You made it to Arrakis. Yes.
Congratulations.
They're talking about how whenever they try to draw water from something, they only get a trickle and then it stops up immediately, and it's some sort of mystery. And that's as far as I got. And then things.
So you've just learned that they're trying to terraform the planet with the water.
Yes.
In the collections. And
which is like, they also talk about like polar ice caps too, and I'm like, okay, so why don't they? I haven't gotten too far into it.
I think that's about that's in the past. I think is
because
you're talking. I assume that you're talking about Kynes, Leah Kynes, right? Who's
I think they're talking to Kynes.
Yeah, because Kynes is the
dude,
he's
right?
the liaison between the Empire and the Fremen.
The dude
he's also
who's
the
a woman in the movie.
Yeah, the race swap, gender swapped character. Anything else? Like, give us an update on Monster Legends. I know Lopter is dying to know more.
So I've got some legendaries. I've got another mythic monster.
This is a mobile game, right?
Yeah, that's the mobile game. And then stinking Ord's Board. Shout out to Ord's Board. He got me to download Diablo 2. So
nice.
Okay.
Did
Yeah,
you get the
whatever.
expansion as well?
Yeah, I got this expansion. I'm playing a druid right now.
Oh, cool.
So
it's classic.
Are you joining us Sunday?
Yeah, I'll join you guys Sunday. Just give me the Discord chat and I'll join you.
All right, before we get to Script Doctor, I see Deviant Porg says he read The Pride out of curiosity by Glass. This is the SJW guy who's always on every threads about comics. It's bad, like very bad.
Oh, Joe Glass.
That is the opposite of what we're looking for, Deviant Porg. We're not looking for things that are bad. We're looking for things that we like.
Oh man, that's awesome, Deviant.
But thank you for the laugh. Appreciate that. All right, Script. We'll get to you. What are you up to?
Well, I've returned to my coverage of Legends of the Dark Knight. So I'm on issue 21, which is Faith, Part 1. It's written by Mike Barr. The art is by Bart Sears, and it's terrible. Like the backgrounds, the buildings, all the mechanical stuff is fine, but his models, like his people, their faces are messed up. The whole proportions are all weird and stuff. I was not a fan of this. I remember throwing this issue aside because I couldn't get through it visually when I first read it years ago.
No,
what's that?
Bart Sears is old school.
Yeah,
He's not CalArts. Legends of the Dark Knight stuff is like in the 80s.
Yeah, like late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but I mean, so far, the Legend of the Dark Knight series overall is fantastic. I'm enjoying rereading it.
Is this an Azrael crossover? Called Faith? It sounds like it would be an Azrael story. Maybe.
I haven't fully started it yet. I just started it today, actually. So it's got like drug issues, and like, you know, this one character's like tripping out and seeing various distortions of Batman, and Leslie Tompkins is in it doing her Wayne Memorial Clinic stuff. So.
Oh, Bart Sears is the guy who draws Batman with like 900 muscles that don't exist.
Yes. And he's got like a shovel-shaped head or something like that.
Yeah, and he's got like the really like his cape is always kind of swooping, even if he's standing still.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that like
It's difficult art to get through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was also given another comic to read. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to divulge any information, but it's really, really good. Oh man, when I am allowed to help, it's not out yet. It's probably going to do an Indiegogo campaign. I think early next year. But the writer reached out to me, and we had a chat, and he showed me his work, and it was like phenomenal. Like, the art is amazing, the story's simple and easy to get, and it's also empathetic. It's I really am eager to promote this book once it gets out. But I read that a few days ago and really liked it. And that's what I've been reading. So yeah.
Awesome.
Good to know you like my stuff, Script.
Shut up.
So as for me, I watched The Last Dance on Netflix, the Michael Jordan ESPN documentary. Absolutely fantastic series. I was hooked all the way through. I mean, that, like, it almost made me want to get back into basketball because it was that good. Because I haven't watched basketball in years.
Yeah, but basketball will never be that good again, John. Come on.
Probably not. But I mean, it wasn't just Jordan though either. I mean, the dude was playing with, like, they had Magic Johnson in it. They had Larry Bird. They had Kobe. They had episodes about Pippen and Rodman and just
Drexler?
I mean, what's that?
Drexler? No.
Drexler.
Portland Trailblazers?
Yes, they were there. Yes, they had him there.
1981?
Yeah. I think they had them there. Mainly it was the Pistons. It was mainly the Pistons, though. The Pistons was like their big rivalry, I guess, in the early 90s. And then the late 90s, the rivalry was with the Jazz. And then they had the rivalry with, what was the other team in the East? I think there was, like, they had a game against the Magic.
Celtics?
They had the conference finals game, or the playoff game against the Cavs, where they eliminated the Cavs and pissed me off for years.
So good.
The shot over Elo. Oh, I still haven't recovered from that.
They didn't touch on that. I don't think that I don't remember them talking about
it was
that.
in there. It was in there.
Oh, it was? Okay. But yeah, no, it was really good. I highly recommend it. Even if you're a sports fan and if you're not a basketball fan, I'd recommend it. I think it's even just good watching, even if you're not a sports fan. It was just good TV. Like, they got into, like, they had interviews from everyone, and they talked about it from different angles. They had the owner of the Bulls, like giving an explanation on why the team broke up. And they had Jordan, like, because Jordan said he never got an explanation. So, and then you can see his reaction live. It was good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I got
and then I picked up or I ordered Warhammer Mechanicus. It's a Switch game. I think it's on a couple other platforms. Super strategy RPG, like I like. So You get a. It's actually not a Space Marine game. You're dealing with the Adeptus Mechanicus, and they're fighting against. They go to a planet where that's inhabited by Necrons, and you have to basically wipe out the Xenos. So you got to move your tech priests and your. I forget what their minions are called. Servitors,
the servo skulls.
It wasn't a servo skull. They're like actual look like they're like humanoid.
Okay.
That you move around, and so you get. I just started playing it last night. I didn't get through the tutorial. Fell asleep. But
that's engaging, huh?
No, I mean,
you really sold the game, John.
I started playing it at like 1. I knew I was going to go to bed anyways. Like I knew I was going to go to sleep. So
that's a big mistake, man. 1 a.m. because you could be up at 3 before you know it.
I know, but it looks enjoyable. It's a little. I mean, it's an SRPG, so it's a little clunky. It's not as smooth as probably as Fire Emblem Three Houses is, but it's similar mechanics. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to getting through it. The story can be kind of interesting. We'll see. All right. Enough with the recommendations. We will now move on to the main event here. And that is, let's see if this will work.
We're not going to let's get ready to rumble from anyone. Come on.
If you watched our recent video that we uploaded, you get did you watch our video, the X-Men video that we uploaded?
Yes.
The 10 X-Men that can beat Captain Marvel?
Yes. We got the Michael Buffer, Let's Get Ready to Rumble. I think that was from a wrestling match, actually.
Yeah.
I clipped it from. Yeah, so that was fun. Let's see here if I can.
It's hard to pick only 10.
I know.
that was a story Phil did. Phil did that original story, and we transformed it into a video. Why is this not showing up?
Too many tabs open, apparently.
Like even that kid from X-Men 2 who could change the TV with his blinking eyes.
Oh
He
yeah,
should be number 1.
that would be amazing.
All right. Yes, worked. Okay. All right. Oh, we can close that. Yeah, there's not too many tabs up, right?
You got 2 Google Chromes and a Firefox plus 2 tabs.
Mine is way worse.
The tabs.
So we have a brand new rumor that Disney is discussing a Star Wars film starring Luke Skywalker set about 10 years after the Return of the Jedi. So this rumor came from our friend Overlord Doomcock on his YouTube channel. And he didn't actually make this the main point of his rumor or of his story. His main lead in his YouTube video was there were like the 3 plans that Lucas or Disney is laying out in order to move forward with Star Wars. And then the part with this Luke Skywalker film is part of the second plan. So this is a continuation of his rumors regarding the turmoil within Disney and Lucasfilm and how they kind of want to move away from the sequel trilogy.
I wonder why.
Which is interesting because we also got a rumor earlier this week, I think it was yesterday actually, from Rich Johnson at Bleeding Cool that Marvel's no longer going to publish the Rise of Skywalker adaptation.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
Right,
It
that's
probably
such a
contradicts the
moneymaker.
actual final cut of the movie.
Well, it was supposed to have like additional information on it. The person who was writing it is Jodie Hauser, and she was like providing updates on Twitter.
But it's really hard to put a Fortnite video in a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't get the full story.
True. All right, so basically, let's just kind of go through. So Doomcock describes the plans as one good, one bad, and one that is lawful, good, neutral in D&D terms. And then the first one is basically, he calls it the worst option. I agree with him. He says what they do is they use the Veil of the Force, which Doomcock has detailed before. It's basically they introduced it in Star Wars Rebels. It's this in Star Wars Rebels they call it the World Between Worlds. I think.
Right. Yeah.
That's the name.
That's it.
Oh, that's how it's going to cross over into Kingdom Hearts. I know it right now. I'm calling it.
Shut up.
That'd be amazing.
Shut
That's
up.
gonna happen. And then Sephiroth is gonna like manipulate it or something
And
like
then
that.
Captain Marvel comes in and
No, no.
And she gets
Why did Darth Mickey too?
She's gonna save the whole universe somehow.
But so he explains that this he calls it the Veil of the Force. Do you know why he calls it the Veil of the Force Comics Division instead of the World Between Worlds, which is what they call it on their like official website?
Dude, I don't know. It's been a while since I watched those episodes of Rebels, and I if I do, I completely forgot because I stopped caring.
Well, I don't think they don't actually use the Veil of the Force. That's like a term that Doomcock uses.
I think
Yeah,
it was
they
the
just
term
call it the world
his
between
sources
worlds.
used.
I'm pretty sure they mention it as the Veil like one time in the show before they actually find out what it is.
Oh, okay. All right. So anyways, he says that the first scenario is kind of a soft reboot of the sequel trilogy and is by far the worst option. In this scenario, they use the Veil of the Force to go back in time and warn Luke not to try and kill Ben Solo, who we know becomes Kylo Ren. Ben still turns to the dark side of the Force, but Luke's hands are clean, kind of. I mean, if they do this, so he kind of gives his opinion here about why he thinks that Luke's hands still wouldn't be clean. I mean, he's still thinking about killing him. Like, someone has to like travel through time to be like, stop, Luke. What you are doing is against your character.
Oh, you're
It's a hell of a
someone's gotta tell
way of
Luke how to
whipping
do
out an
Luke.
eraser and fixing things.
Yeah. He calls this one the long goodbye. That's what he calls this plan. I don't know if that's like something they're talking about internally, but that's what he calls it. So yeah, that's basically their plan. And this is really what changes. Luke is still fundamentally someone who is so morally compromised he thought about killing his nephew. And then he goes on to say, I'm told that in this scenario, The Force Awakens stays mostly the same with just a few tweaks here and there. The Last Jedi gets massively redone as Luke is dissuaded from attacking Ben. Ben Solo still becomes Kylo Ren, which kind of proves that Luke was kind of right to try and kill Ben, and vindicates, he calls him Rian Johnson's version of things. And then he says Luke trains Rey in the ways of the Force as he should have done in The Last Jedi. In the end, Princess Leia dies, but Luke Skywalker lives. And then finally, the Lucas cut would replace the Abrams cut of Rise of Skywalker, though it would have to be altered to reflect Luke surviving the revised The Last Jedi. So it sounds like this sounds like a lot of work. They are gonna have to like redo all of The Last Jedi, pretty much like significantly alter the Lucas cut, the rumored Lucas cut of Rise of Skywalker. I don't know. It just seems that there's a lot. If they do go there, they have to change a lot. And I don't know if they would be redoing the sequel trilogy. No,
Pretty much, it's just an argument for Disney to buy my story idea for a television series that can write all of this without any of that crap.
I feel like that's probably what would end up happening. Would be a Disney Plus series.
So, by them doing that, though, and I think Script would agree with me, they would piss off a lot of Hollywood creatives. Because that means all of their stuff is just nixed. I mean, they'll get a lot of money and a lot of goodwill from the fans, but a lot of the creatives in Hollywood will just...
I mean, didn't that already happen with the EU stuff?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to happen on a larger scale with the money that's used for the Disney properties.
Yeah.
I mean, it won't piss off a lot of creatives in Hollywood. It'll just piss off a very niche group of creatives in Hollywood that, I mean, giving them the title of creatives is kind of a
bad
blessing
reboot,
and an insult to other
Bad
creatives.
reboot.
Is that their name?
I think the
Rian
people that be
Johnson.
pissed off the most would be the fans of The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
The Raylos?
The Raylos.
Yeah. Well, not just the Raylos, but the people who thought the that Rian Johnson's movie was the best thing since sliced bread. And obviously it would piss him off too, which I'm completely fine with. Because screw that guy.
It would be great
Yeah.
to see him act like a man baby, right?
Oh no, yeah. I mean,
Well,
he's
no,
the
he's
pinnacle
off
maturity.
Twitter now. He's off Twitter now, so he won't do it publicly.
Oh, he still hasn't gotten his Twitter account back. That's
Nope.
how much I
Still
haven't
not
been
back.
paying attention to him. Okay, wow,
That's brilliant.
interesting. Yeah, so that's a whole nother rumor story that we have up on the website if you want to dive into that after the show. Yeah, this just seems like it would just be a ton of work. I don't see them redo it. I mean, if they are going to redo it, it would like Script said, it would have to be on Disney Plus as a TV show. And I think it would go back to what Doomcock was saying in one of his previous videos, where he's talking about they just kind of phase it out gradually, and they just take the Mandalorian and move forward from there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean my proposal is basically have my story is basically about one of Luke's first Jedi apprentices that's quote unquote fully trained, and Luke sends her on a pilgrimage, and she meets up with another guy, and her mission is to find other potential Jedis and try and figure out what this new dark force presence that's in the galaxy is. And Luke, the duck blind is that later on in the series you'd realize Luke had a force vision where someone has tried to manipulate him into killing Ben, and he's sending out his students to try and prevent this future from possibly happening while he builds up the new Jedi Order. And so it's this person's pilgrimage and mission, and if she succeeds, the Disney trilogy does not exist, but if she fails, then it does exist. So that's your stakes, but that would be something revealed a couple of years after Kathleen Kennedy has left. So by that point, you're too far invested into the series to even do anything to try and right the ship, as it were. And you just end the series with her succeeding. There's no Snoke. There's no Palpatine back. There's no Rey as a result because they didn't clone Palpatine. You don't have to use the Veil of Force or anything like that because I would just incorporate my interpretation that Palpatine is not actually a real physical entity. It's just part of the dark side of the Force manifests real in the galaxy, and you always have to fight him off. And he can always come back if you ever are tempted to the dark side. That's how he
Oh, that actually sounds really cool.
I think it's funny that people in the fandom come up with better stories than the actual professionals, but I know you're also a professional too.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. But this is how you have to kind of work your things. Take what's happened within the original movies itself. Like, I play up on the line. Like, Obi-Wan says Anakin was seduced by the dark side. He doesn't say Anakin was seduced by the Emperor. Granted, they didn't know that point, but you can take that line for literal and have a lot of fun with it. And that's what writing is about, especially when you're a steward to an existing IP. So, that's what I would do. That's my take on it. And I'm not going to release a pretty detailed video on that, I think, on the 1-year anniversary of the Rise of Skywalker release. That's how I have it planned out now, because I have a full-time job back at full-time hours, so my content creation is pretty much grinded down to nothing.
Well, Script, at this point, being a steward of a property means beating with the club and then lighting it on fire.
Yeah, pretty much like harvesting baby seals for slippers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't honestly think, though, that any of this is going to happen. I don't think that they're
pessimist.
I think. Well, no. I mean, I'm just being a realist. I think Disney is too arrogant to do this, and they're not going to spend the extra money on it. They're just going to throw out some brand new trilogy and hope that they can, I guess, recover with using something like the Old Republic or something along those lines.
I agree, but I don't think it's out of arrogance. Yeah. I just don't think. I think. Like, Disney's never done something that cool. They've never connected their TV shows for any property to their wider universes. So why would they start now? Like, I remember my friends and I had this great theory about how Ezra from Rebels turns out to be Snoke through seduction to the dark side because they share so much, blah, blah, blah. But it would never happen because Disney doesn't care. They don't care that much.
Yep.
No, they don't.
I will say that seems like what they're saying they're going to do with Marvel Studios with the TV shows connecting to the films.
They tried that
with
the
trial run.
They tried that with the AOS.
Yeah, I was gonna say, look at Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That didn't work out. Disney's all about the milk money, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a trial run. They figured out what can work with it, what can't, and they're using the stuff they think is successful for their Disney Plus line. But I'm pretty much of the idea that because Disney is hemorrhaging money, they're going to stick to the lower budget side of things on Disney Plus to keep Star Wars alive until the world kind of gets over this pandemic, and then they're able to get back to a new type of normal. And then if they're able to generate enough income from Disney Plus, which is highly unlikely, but they have to have some really great content all year round for that. But if they are able to do that, then they'll be able to justify having a new trilogy of films. But I would think it'd be a bad idea for them to announce it as a trilogy and just say we're just going to do a new Star Wars film and let, by the third one come to fruition, have it confirmed that it was a trilogy. Because the last thing you need is people, especially fans of any side, Fandom Menace, TLJ, normies, saying like, "Oh, you better be planning this trilogy," and it's like, let's not have them predict that it's going to be a trilogy. Just take it one movie at a time, like Lucas did. The trilogy was a happy accident. The OT, that's kind of like the best approach you can make for Disney can make, in my opinion.
But if they don't announce 900 things ahead of time, how can they make 900 new toys?
They're not making toys now, so it doesn't even matter, right?
Not selling really well.
I'm still waiting for the Leslie Headland series that they're supposed to be developing.
That's not happening.
I know it's not happening. That's why I said that.
I would be pleasantly surprised if it was happening, but it's not.
we did get an update on Waititi. He said he is writing his movie, but I haven't heard anything about that Headland show at all.
Yeah.
They did announce the Bad Batch animated series, so that seems to be coming. And obviously Mandalorian season 2. We'll see what happens with Mandalorian season 2 because we have all these rumors that the Ahsoka is going to show up and all these other Rebels characters are going to show up. So they might bring characters in from that and go that way.
Yeah, because all I could expect from the Headland show is the lesbian Twi'lek Jedi series.
I'd watch that.
I was saying, what's wrong with that?
I'm in.
Yeah.
Well, like the other thing to point out too is that my my little fun theory about Palpatine not being like a parasite of the Force, it kind of allows the plausibility of him being kind of disintegrated and fingers broken off in The Rise of Skywalker because he hasn't fully been able to transition from the dark side to our reality. So I can still, like, I made this idea pretty easy to swallow for people who even like the Disney trilogy as well. So, I mean,
that's like my biggest issue with your pitch. I don't like the fact that he's like a manifestation of the dark side.
Yeah, he's like Dr. Manhattan.
I don't know. I just
see. Here's the thing, John. You can't think we're far past the point where things were good. Now it's just kind of how do we recover from it?
Right. Well,
and a looming threat is actually what makes sci-fi fantasy fun. Is that something that you have to constantly be wary of, and why not make it make Palpatine that character, especially if you're going to.
You already have that, though. You don't need to have Palpatine become a manifestation of the dark side when you already have the dark side.
Well, basically, how does the dark side get stronger unless it has a manifestation? And also makes sense to the rule of 2, where you can only have one person that's in the reality be of the dark side, and then the other one is actually the dark side itself.
I always hated the rule of 2. I thought
that
was lame.
I super hate it.
The rule of 2 also was never followed.
Yeah, it was never followed.
It's like in Pirates of the Caribbean where they're talking about parlay and the code.
Yeah.
It's more of a guideline. Yeah, it's not actually like something you follow to the letter, which they made very clear in Clone Wars and Rebels, and I would even argue in Lucas's trilogy because he's already like working on Anakin when he's already got Dooku. So.
Yep. And he's working on Dooku, and he's already got Maul.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. All right. So this is the second plan that Disney is apparently calling, and ComixDivison already kind of alluded to it with his Big Red Eraser. This one is called the Big Red Eraser. He describes this as the best scenario, the one that Doomcock reported. He referred to himself in the third person here. He never usually does that. That was kind of weird. I just from a listening to his video perspective on a month ago, and the only I must have missed a word there. And the only one I believe, it's probably one, the only one I believe that can save Star Wars, erasing the sequel trilogy entirely. In this scenario, they use the Veil of the Force to kill Palpatine when he enters the Veil at the end of the Return of the Jedi, thereby erasing everything that comes after that. The Disney trilogy becomes an alternate timeline and is never referenced again.
Like a good stepchild.
So this is where his Luke Skywalker film rumor comes in. In addition to this, I'm told they are contemplating a new Luke Skywalker movie. I spelled that wrong too. Movie set 10 years after the Return of the Jedi, set in the Mandalorian timeline. Doomcock, he then speculated, I think a reason they're considering doing this instead of doing a Luke Skywalker set around the time of The Force Awakens is this. Part of the second scenario involves filming George Lucas's trilogy as a replacement for the sequel trilogy, which lines up with my reporting of the rumored conditions Lucas set out for his return to Lucasfilm. And then he I didn't include this part, but he listed off like those 4 conditions. If I remember correctly off the top of my head, they're like get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. He has full creative control. He gets to do his sequel trilogy that they put in on ice. And what was the 4th one? There was a 4th one. I can't remember it right now. But if you click this link, it tells you. So clearly, if they're going to film Lucas's official sequel trilogy, The Adventures of Jedi Master Luke Skywalker don't fit in with Lucas's sequel trilogy as he imagined it. So I was a little confused by that. I think he's talking about the sequel trilogy when he's talking about The Adventures of Jedi Master Luke Skywalker.
Well, if you've read the, I think it's The Art of the Force Awakens, they actually do talk about some of the stuff that Lucas had planned. And they did borrow heavily from that for The Force Awakens. Obviously, they went and changed a bunch of stuff. But yeah, it really didn't follow Luke at all.
Okay. Yeah. No, he didn't show up in the film at all. He was at the last scene.
Right.
Yeah. Well, but that was also Lucas's plan, I believe, for his next trilogy.
Yeah, I do remember like they showed like the bell. There was like a bell-shaped like temple, and he was on the island or whatever, and he had like a Jedi temple, I think, and his like he was training someone named Kira, and then they used
because I want to say the next kind of duo was supposed to be a female Jedi and a stormtrooper who went rogue, and that's obviously where they got the part of the plot from for Force Awakens.
Right.
Yeah. They didn't chicken out.
Oh, Kira Nerys. Oh.
I don't. God, see, I don't want to be that guy that constantly like comes out. It sounds like Mr. Negative.
You are.
Oh God! All right. So last week,
Let the hate flow.
last week, I was on a panel with Alan Dean Foster on PJ's channel, and
shout out to Orville Nation.
Yeah,
Yep.
and Alan was asked. The first question he was asked was, do you think George is making a comeback? And Alan and George are personal friends, and from what Alan said, George is very happy in retirement. He's happy working on the museum and stuff that he owns, and he's not really in a hurry to do anything back in the Hollywood world.
I don't blame him whatsoever.
So
Lucas doesn't want to do stuff in Hollywood anyways. He likes making his own little movies that no one will ever see.
So
So dense.
So that's where that's what Alan Dean Foster indicated. Now, you could take it for what you will, but I'm inclined to kind of think that is more along the lines of where George's mindset's at. I don't think.
So in the Doomcock did it. So this is a follow up to his video from last week, I believe, and he says that he had another source tell him that Lucas was happy in retirement as well. So he's reported that as well. But he's also hearing from this other source that says that there might be interest, or at least Disney is interested in having him come back.
And it might just be, people, wishful thinking because they hate how Star Wars is being handled. And I can understand that too. And they might be speaking from, wishful thinking perspective, but I really don't think George is coming back.
Yeah, I don't see it either. I mean, they would have to give some sort of huge peace offering, and I have no idea what it would be, because it's not like the guy needs money. I mean, they could literally show up with a dump truck full of money and dump it on his lawn and say, "Please come back," and he'd probably be like, "No, that's not enough."
Well, he's 79 years old.
Yeah, that too.
And he's also a new dad too. He's got a new toddler.
Yeah, he's a senior citizen. He's got a new toddler. I mean, I don't think he's going to be in any sort of hurry to jump back into that grind, really.
They're at this point, I don't think there's any point, man. I mean, he got treated pretty badly by the fans because of the prequels, and Kathleen Kennedy kind of screwed him over with the sequel trilogy. So I'd be done too, man.
I mean, he called Disney white slavers.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm kind of with you on that, Drew. I mean, that's not like I wasn't trying to like argue against the fact that I think he's coming back. I think we're just kind of reporting on this rumor here.
Oh yeah.
Speculating on the rumor. But yeah, I think Chris Neville kind of is right where I'm at right now. The only thing I believe is Mandalorian season 2, and Bad Batch will happen. Nothing else. Yeah, I'm
Beautiful
right there.
Avatar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think what's going to happen is Chris Neville's on the money. I could see George being a senior advisor, and that would be probably the only role that he would look at. And even Alan Dean Foster said as much. He said if George did come back, it would be in a consulting capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Would they take his treatments?
We've already kind of seen that where he's.
Oh, I'm assuming so.
The Mandalorian. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I think Favreau has said that he still is like talking to George and stuff, and they run stuff by him as well.
I know Filoni is.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, so I think we read this part. So Jim Cock goes on. So clearly, if they're going to film Luke's official sequel trilogy, yeah, we read that part. So he then states, "I'm told that recasting Luke Skywalker, thankfully, is not an option here. If Mark Hamill wouldn't do the movie, they'd scrap it and move on to the third option. I feel like they would. So I don't. I mean, he's kind of. I mean, they'd have to do some de-aging, I guess, if it's 10 years after."
Well, they did do some de-aging with him.
Yeah.
Well, they'd have to do significantly more de-aging. Plus,
Yeah.
if this is ever going to happen, this is still probably 5 years down the road at least, I would say.
The technology isn't there.
Any younger.
No, he's not.
Yeah, the biggest flaw with the de-aging is the fact that they try to include the lips and the mouth for it, and they shouldn't. They should be cropping that out and letting the real actors' lips come through, because that's what gives it away the most.
Well, that and the fact that when you have an older individual playing a younger character, you can really see it, and you saw that with Samuel L. Jackson in Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah, you couldn't run the poor guy.
Yeah, it's like the aging looked great, but the body sure did act like it was old.
Well, it also helps that Samuel L. Jackson hasn't aged in his face in the last 50 years anyways, so.
True.
They just gave him hair, really. That's all they did, as far as I can tell.
All right, so this third option, Doomcock calls Return of the Lucas, and he didn't really provide a lot of details on this one. He just said, in this option, they simply do Lucas's sequel trilogy without any of the old cast and completely disregard the sequel trilogy with no explanation given. I actually think this is probably the more likely scenario.
Yeah, this seems like it.
If they are going to actually do this, which I don't think they're going to do. I just don't think they're going to. I mean, so let's just get to that. I know we were we just talked about our opinions on whether Lucas was going to come back. Do we actually think that they're going to throw away the Disney sequel trilogy from canon and kind of like EU it?
I think if they're desperate enough, they will.
Yeah, if they would do it.
When do they get to that point? How desperate? What does that look like?
How much money have they lost?
Yeah, I mean, look at what's going on.
It looks like how
closed for
is Corona going to go for? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Their stock is taking a beating again. Apparently, I haven't checked it recently, but their parks are closed. How much money do they have currently? How viable of a company is Disney going to be at the end of this year? I guess is the biggest question.
Not only are they losing money, they're still under investigation by the SEC for cooking the books, so to speak. Like, it just keeps piling on.
I don't know, man. I mean, if Disney survives this, then maybe a vastly different company, and it's a good possibility that they start selling stuff off.
Didn't they raise $10 billion earlier this year?
Yeah,
they took out another loan, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so the stock price is at 115 at the moment, which is not the lowest it's been. It's been under, I want to say, like $90 at one point.
But hey, power to the people. Disney supports BLM.
Is Disney World still open? Have they shut that down? I know they shut down Disneyland.
I think it's open, but no one is showing up.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
That actually surprises me. People, given the fact that everyone's going to the beach or we're going to the beach. I don't know if they still are or not. I know I have some family down in Florida, and they've been going to the beach. So I saw Father Christopher Miller. I don't know where he was, but he was at a beach. Saw him post that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Father Christopher Miller. And so at the end, he actually says the big red eraser is the favorite option at Disney. But he says it is emphasized as of now that nothing is set in stone and all options are on the table. Of course they are, especially when they're thinking. So that's the big Luke Skywalker rumor. I know that Midnight's Edge sent me something earlier today. I just had a really busy day today, so I wasn't able to get to it. I'll probably get to it tomorrow. So I think there's a little bit more to this that Midnight's Edge has.
I know Andre thinks it's going to happen.
Oh, he does. Which one? The Big Red Racer?
Something we were talking about it on his stream. I'm trying to remember which day it was. Sunday. I don't remember. But he thinks there's validity to it.
Okay, because I know he sent me like the whole script and everything, and they published the video earlier today. I just didn't have time to get to it yet.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm really behind on my YouTube right now.
I'm always behind on my YouTube. I'm trying to keep up with like the Warhammer stuff, the Star Wars stuff, and then like tune in with you guys with Gary on Nerdrotic, and then I just get behind. And then like I'll find someone new, and I'm just like, oh, I gotta like they got something else here too that I can like follow. So, all right. Any last words on Luke Skywalker's Star Wars film? Do we actually want to see a Luke Skywalker Star Wars film set in the timeline of the Mandalorian?
Not really.
No, I mean it doesn't matter to me.
Well, not only that is I'm pretty sure that Mark Hamill is done with Disney and Star Wars, so convincing him to come back, I think, is going to be an issue.
He seemed pretty done after.
It'd have to be one hell of a script.
Yeah. I mean, it would be a great script, and probably George would have to ask him himself because I don't think he trusts anybody.
Well, they said that he said that last time too when they got him on because he really had no intention of coming back, and then apparently he saw the script and it was supposed to be fantastic, and well, he was in it for 5 seconds, so it's like, well,
yeah. Well, like he was told in '86 that he would probably be coming back to pass Excalibur down to the next generation, which is the only reason he agreed to the contract that he signed, I think, in 2002. For like the sequel trilogy that Lucas had planned, but he wasn't able to get that off the ground. And then Disney came in and bought the Lucasfilm and its subsidiary companies, and Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford were all attached to that sale, so they had to show up for a minimum one movie. And that's how we got in this position.
Yeah.
So Marco Earth said Hamill will go for the money. I kind of agree. Seems like that's his MO. He'd do that.
I mean, that's if they have
How
the money,
much?
Though. I mean, I'm looking at their debt to income ratio right now. They're, as of 2019, they're in a 10-year high, right? And they just took out another $2 billion loan. So
they just bought Fox, man. Yeah. They're neck deep in debt at this point.
So they have to figure something out because they can't continue burning money, especially with their parks not really generating income to make any of this happen. So if I don't see any of this actually happen, if it's more likely that they're going to sell the IP.
That's my thought.
We're going to find out a lot here in a couple days because I think their Q3 report.
Yeah,
they're coming out next month.
There's some reporting
coming out soon.
Is it Q3?
It's on Thursday. Q3.
Yeah,
Q3. So I'm sure Clownfish will be on top of that. I'll be trying to pay attention to that as well, depending on what's going on and whether or not my life circumstances have me still here.
If Lorena is around, because she's a shareholder, she'll probably sit in on it if she's around and can do it.
I mean,
I can't wait to see them tap dancing.
I think they make it public. You can listen to it public. Yeah, they have it. They actually have it already listed on their website when it's going to happen. So I was able to listen to the investor meeting when they had in February, I think, and where they got savaged by basically all their investors. Just grilled them.
It was so
It
fun.
was like, why do you guys suck? Like, why can't you do this? Be better.
Well, they keep stupidly marketing to woke, and it's not taken off with anyone, and we know we've said it. I don't know how many times that those people just don't spend money, but they keep marketing to people that aren't going to support the franchise or the particular IP. So when you do that, it's the very definition of like banging your head into a wall. You're not going to make any progress.
So what do you think is going to be the first thing that gets axed?
Disney Plus.
Oh,
That's not getting axed.
No,
That's not getting
probably the
Plus is not
Muppets.
getting axed.
I think it's a good possibility that they might can Marvel Comics and just farm their IPs out to other companies.
They're already doing that. They're already doing that with.
Yeah, I know that they've been doing it for a while. I think that kind of was the test bed. And now that they're hurting for cash, they're definitely going to, I think, shit can the Marvel Comics.
so the full Monty now.
I mean, I know Clownfish has been talking about that for a while. For the past couple of years, he's been ringing the alarm bell on that. I'm not so sure about that. I mean, CB is bringing in a bunch of non-Disney IPs for them to do. They brought in Conan. I think they actually did cancel one of the Conan comics. I read that.
Is Conan still on the Avengers? I remember that was a thing.
Yeah, he's like on the Dark Avengers.
Yeah, and then they brought in. They just brought in Warhammer 40K. And I think there's a couple others that they got. I think they got Alien. They own that now, so that's not really even.
Whoa! Alien as in aliens as in.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! That's right. The Fox IP.
The Fox thing. Yeah. So now they're gonna do Alien comics.
Yeah, Captain Marvel will come in and beat up the alien.
I think Chris Neville. This is kind of. I just like looking at Chris Neville's avatar there. Just keep bringing
back
when keep agreeing with him.
Yeah, back when Rogue was a hottie.
But yeah, I think they'll sell some Fox IPs first. I wouldn't be surprised if some of those Avatar films get axed as well.
I bet you Disney will sell Die Hard to Sony.
Yeah, I can see Die Hard going more of the adult stuff.
I see like ESPN probably getting sold to somebody.
No,
that'd be tough because don't they make a lot of money on that when sports are actually being played?
But that's the problem. I don't know how many of you guys are sports fans, but like I catch ESPN every time I'm at the gym, pretty much every day, and they are starved for things to talk about. It's not going well.
Soccer is not the one that has the Super Bowl.
Oh no, that's the Stanley Cup. It's what you win when you pass a presidential fitness test.
Okay.
Spencer, you're done. How dare you? How dare you insult the Stanley Cup? How dare you?
I'm in timeout. I'm in jail. Penalty box.
You're in jail.
I have held the Stanley Cup twice in my life, sir, and it is a force to behold.
Where's Toxic Man Flu when we need him?
Yeah, I know, right?
He's
conspicuous by his absence, man.
Well, we got Vera in here.
He showed up. He showed up towards the end of our Goblin Slayer. Yeah. We got Noel from TARDIS Zone, Vera Dark, Chris Neville, Galactus, Planet Eater. I almost was about to say something different. I was about to butcher your name.
Clam Eater.
We have Be Grateful on Twitter following us. Star Trooper here on YouTube. Who else? Oh, we do have a $2 super chat from Mega Jetty, Jeffrey Turner. He says, "I want a Luke cartoon show like this, like Clone Wars, set between original trilogy." What do you? They've kind of done a little bit of that in the comics. In the new Marvel comics, they did a little bit of that.
Oh boy,
some of the stuff was okay.
Yeah,
I could see.
Yeah, for a while, but I really liked this Kieran Gillian's run on Star Wars.
The Darth Vader series was really good.
It was really good.
Mm-hmm. I liked like the first 12 issues of that new Star Wars run. I thought it did feel very Star Wars to me. Then they introduced some characters, and it's like, where are you going with this?
Yeah,
man, it just got boring.
Once they started introducing like the original characters do not steal, it kind of went off the rails a little bit. Especially because they still want you to believe it's taking place between A New Hope and Empire.
Mm-hmm. I think I think where it went off the rails is they actually had a really interesting storyline where they went to this kind of like underworld city where they had like these huge mining rigs, and there was like a civil war happening, and Vader comes in and picks the side of this one woman.
I remember that.
That issue was good, but then they took her and they brought her into like Luke and Han like attacking this other planet, and like Luke was like talking to some kind of like mystics and stuff, that's just, I felt like that's where it went off the rails for me. And it was like around like 35, I think.
Yeah,
maybe.
that's actually kind of where I stopped reading it too.
Yeah, they also brought in Jada Pinkett Solo.
Yeah, that was early on, but they kind of pushed her to the side, I feel like, very quickly. And I guess she came back again a couple times. But
yeah, I remember like where I left off, they were like, "There's only one person who can save us," and it turns out to be her.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you had the whole Dr. Aphra thing, which was fine in the Vader run.
Yes,
but he seriously should have killed her at the end.
I liked Dr. Aphra as a character at the very beginning, and I liked her solo series at the very beginning, but that went quickly into just boring sort of fan fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I
totally
do like
agree.
her killer versions of R2D2 and C3PO though.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool.
000 and what was BT something?
BT, I think.
Yeah. So Mega Jetty's giving us more. He says another $2 super chat. He says his show was
aided by Ahsoka, Rex, Han, and Leia.
Oh God.
I don't know.
Leave Ahsoka alone.
Yeah.
Just bring back the member berries.
But I think the first arc of the Star Wars comic was actually really good because I think they were on some other planet and they were having to like they were rescuing people who were like held prisoner or something, and then Vader like just happened to be there, and so they like face off, but they were able to escape, and that was had very good Star Wars, old school Star Wars vibe to me. So there was like hit and miss stuff there because I really liked the first Lando series. That
I did as well. I thought that was done really well.
Yeah,
with him and Lobot. Yes,
and then the bounty hunter who was like his like former lover. Yeah, that worked really well. And they're stealing Palpatine's like yacht,
pleasure yacht. Yeah, that was all the dark stuff. Good. Yeah, I like that. That was a good story.
Yeah. All right, let's move into do we still want to keep talking Star Wars? I mean, I can keep talking Star Wars all night.
I know.
You guys got me a pleasure yacht.
No, there's lots to talk about.
Let's move. We're about an hour in, so let's move to our second main topic. Let's talk Dynamite. So they.
There's a good transition. Those boring Star Wars comics you were mentioning earlier, Spencer, were those written by Tom King?
Oh my God! No, the story wrapped up in more than 90 issues.
Do we want to do Tom King or Dynamite? We're going with Tom King here.
They're all the same.
In the same thing, right?
Yeah.
No, it's all part of the same conversation about what's happening with,
for the most part,
that world.
They're kind of different. I mean, I guess they're related as far as like Ethan is concerned.
They're related in the fact that it involves comics, Ethan, and somebody getting canceled or attempted cancellation.
Okay, we'll go with Tom King. I like this image. This is great. Let me just read this this super chat here from Mega Jetty. He says Ahsoka and Rex talk about Anakin, but not Vader drama for $2. Yeah, I'm not.
I'd watch it.
I'm not. That's not grabbing me, Mega Jetty. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I don't want to watch a story about a person telling me about another story that's off screen. Just
a much better story or potentially better story.
I think so you could do something like that where you have a narrator, but then it leads you into the actual story, which they kind of did that.
Yeah,
with
like
Goblin
The Princess Bride.
There you go.
Yeah,
Princess Bride formula is good for that. You can do The Princess Bride in Star Wars, but like, I don't want to just. I mean, I could personally listen to Peter Falk read out The Princess Bride to me on my own if I wanted to, but yeah, I want to see the stuff too.
I think it's funny that a lot of people are jumping on the fact that Tom King is a male Karen.
Actually, I think
Mark
they should be called like the new Karen. The male Karen should just be a full name, Tom King, so that we at least protect Toms that are not Karens.
All right, so let's get into this. So if you aren't familiar, this has been kind of like an ongoing saga. I'm sure it will continue. We'll see what happens as it unfolds here, because Tom King has kind of been the center of a lot of controversy. I feel like since he got booted off Batman, for the most part. That's what it seems like to me. Maybe I'm in. Well, yeah. So yeah, the pledge. We'll get to that. So basically, what happened was, so I'm just going to kind of set the stage here. So DC Comics announced a Rorschach series by Tom King and Jorge. I think his name is Jorge Fornes. I'm probably
Jorge Arenas.
And they announced it in like July 15th, and in the announcement it says that Jai Lee is doing a variant cover for the first issue, and I would assume he's probably doing variant covers for all 12 issues.
He probably would have,
because that's usually
It's
how
Jai
it
Lee
works.
or Jay Lee?
I don't know.
I think it's Jai.
Really?
Is it?
Or
I don't know.
Let's call him the
Jai. I'm sorry. I really don't know. I'm really
I
I'm
had no
so
idea.
bad
I
at
know it's pronounced
these.
Jay. I just want to make sure I'm saying it right.
I don't know him. I know Ethan knows him. Has he said it on
disrespect.
has he said it on one of his streams how to say his name?
I thought it was Jay.
Jay.
I think it's Jay.
Yeah.
Jay. Okay, we'll go with Jay.
Yes, Jay.
All right, that's my fault then. So they announced that Jay Lee was going to do a variant cover for Rorschach #1, and the assumption is that he was going to be doing variant covers for all of the series. Nothing from Tom King. I don't even think he promoted the series. I looked for it when on that day, and I didn't think I saw anything from him promoting it when DC Comics actually made the announcement, which was, I believe, July 15th. But lo and behold, when July 24th rolled around, DC Comics actually showed the variant cover for Jay Lee's Rorschach #1, which is right here. You can see it. I think it might be further
That's
down.
better than the thumbprint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thumbprint's not a Rorschach, and when I look at this Rorschach, all I see are dwindling sales.
It's like trying way too hard to capture that like 80s vibe of a cover. The original one, not this one.
I think they saw success on Jeff Johns' Doomsday Clock, at least in the beginning, and they want to keep going with that.
Yeah, but they want to set it in the Watchmen TV show universe, which is
that's what it sounds like.
It's pointless.
Oh, thank you.
But it got like 25 Emmys, yo.
Yeah, I know.
Those are nominations, not actual Emmys.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Emmy nominations. Whatever.
A-Force was lauded by critics, but it was hated in the comic book stores, and it was canceled a year later.
Yep. Because it was so awesome.
It was critically acclaimed.
I read A-Force for a little while. It was so boring.
Did they sit around talking and eating? Is that basically what it turned into?
That's basically what it turned into. Like the first 3 or 4 issues were them being Avengers, and then it kind of became, let's sit around and talk the problems out and do
It's like a force feeding.
Hug it out.
Pretty much.
I'm fine with like characters having like those kind of moments. Like this is one thing we didn't talk about in our Goblin Slayer review, but like one of the like ongoing gags in the first anime series was that Lizard Priest really likes cheese. He likes Goblin Slayer's melted cheese. And so they have like these moments around the campfire where he's like eating cheese and just enjoying cheese, and they'll like just like crack a joke, and it's just like, okay, yeah,
that's fine, but that can't be your complete story though. That's
right.
the main problem with modern comics is they take a side bit which should be like a panel or 2 or 3, and they make an entire. I wouldn't say issue. It would be like an entire series of them having lunch, bitching about something.
It's because the people who are writing these comics now are so narcissistic that they think that every little aspect of their lives is incredible and important and should be portrayed. So they take the most boring stuff. Like, nobody wants to watch a TV show of your life. But it's pretty much boring 98% of the time. And that's what they put into the comics because they think it's so important to be told. But nobody's coming to them to watch them sit on the couch.
There's a reason why Big Brother and like Real World are like edited.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Because most of the time they're doing boring stuff like literally. So The Last Dance, perfect example. They have like a camera people follow Michael Jordan around. He's like, yeah, when I'm not out in public, I'm literally just sitting here chilling in my room. Like he just like sits there on his couch and he's just like, yep, this is what I do. Like just see it's not really exciting. I'm just sitting here.
Is this before you had kids?
Taking my notes just like everybody else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
this
pretty
was
sure this
early
was back
90s.
when he was on the Bulls.
Yeah, it's when he was on the Bulls. It was I think it was like like 92 maybe is when that was there. But yeah, it was funny. All right. So Tom King sent this out on July 24th. Yeah. He said today DC put out an alternate cover to Rorschach by Jay Lee, who has done covers for Comicsgate, and then he calls them a hate group, which is not true. DC does not consult creators on alternate covers. I reached out to them to express my deep disappointment. As far as I'm concerned, this is the cover to Rorschach #1. So he's basically telling comic shops, his followers, and other people like not to order the Jay Lee cover. That's like what he's saying, which is to financially hurt Jay Lee. That's exactly what he's saying right here.
Well, not just financially, hurt him, cancel him, get him fired from his job. I mean, obviously the end result is financially hurting him, but yeah.
I think
from the industry, you name it.
So yeah, and my headline for this original story was that he was insinuating that Jay Lee is part of a hate group. He's saying he's part of a hate group, which is
he's
just
also hurting
horrible
DC's sales.
Yeah, I think so. Larry's Comics, if you follow him on Twitter, they do tons of like variant covers. I think they're always doing retailer variant covers, really really good stuff. I think I met Larry once at AwesomeCon. He was basically selling new comics for half the price. I was shocked. So I got a bunch.
Probably because he used to offload them.
Yeah, he had like they were literally like comics that came out that Wednesday for half the price, and I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna buy these up. Thank you." Because there's just stuff that I hadn't gone to the comic shop to get yet, and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna go now, get these." Yeah. But he even said that they were causing. I don't have the tweet right up in front of me, but just a paraphrase or kind of remember what he said. He said something like, Tom King just like lost DC Comics a bunch of sales because I guess they were doing their DC Comics panel at San Diego Comic-Con like while this was happening. They were announcing all the new stuff, and like no one covered it because everyone was talking Tom King. So like I don't even like, I'll be honest, like I don't really follow a lot of the mainstream comic stuff anymore because it just doesn't.
It's all bad.
Yeah, unless it's something like what Don's doing where they're changing he's got a story in the works where they're changing a character's name because it's offensive.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
No.
Yeah. They're doing it everywhere, man. They're doing it in IT as well. They're getting rid of the term whitelisting, blacklisting. They're in if you deal with any kind of source control, there's this thing called Git, and they're getting rid of the master repository. They're going to call it the primary repository now. It's ridiculous. Yeah, stuff that has absolutely nothing to do.
Drivers, it's all
race.
Just 10 years from now, primary is going to be a bad word, so they'll have to change it back.
The
master will be back in because the I'm not going to say that because people are going to take that way out of. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. It was a movie reference, but people were going to. I know people would take that completely out of context.
What? It's Masters what they do. Of the Universe.
No, it was another movie, which I was actually I was watching recently. I didn't finish it, but it was interesting. I'm not going to say the movie because it'll still be taken out of context. You guys can guess. You guys can guess what it is. All right, where was I? All right, so I'm just recapping what happened. So he followed this tweet up with another one. I don't know if I have it in the story. Yeah, I did. Okay. So he followed that tweet up after he basically called him. He said that Jay is part of a hate group, and then he was trying to cancel him and get people not to buy his cover. He then said, "I spoke with Jay."
Fine.
Yeah, he's on Twitter. Didn't know Comicsgate existed and doesn't support hate of any kind.
No shit.
Best possible outcome. What's interesting is that he says Tom King says he doesn't support hate of any kind, and we'll find out that he actually doesn't because Jay takes quite an issue with Tom King's comments here. So after King wrote his comments on Twitter, Lee, I guess, would take some time. He's mourning his dog who just passed away, Loki, and he would post on Instagram 2 weeks ago, June is his wife or significant other, and I took Loki to San Diego to see a specialist. He did not survive due to complications from the surgery. This past Friday was supposed to be a day of mourning. We were back in San Diego to pick up his ashes. We were going to take him to the beach and comfort each other by sharing our favorite stories about our little boy. Instead of part of the internet I avoid like the plague came barging in. Tom came. I had companies I'm working for calling me, friends reaching out to me. I'm seeing hate pouring out of strangers' mouths, accusing me of things I have no knowledge of. Right, so he's saying he doesn't like hate. That's for sure, and he's talking about you, Tom King. I'm seeing firsthand how fast lies are spreading. Let me be clear: I'm not part of any group. Right,
Yeah,
and Tom King said he was.
Taking words.
Yeah, Tom King was insinuating that he was.
Yep.
We never made it to the beach. We spent the entire 6-hour drive back home on an emotional roller coaster. And then he says, I'm writing this because I'm angry. These irresponsible tweets are not harmless. He's specifically talking about Tom King. They do not just go away. They have real world consequences.
Mm-hmm.
They can take away your job, your life, your memories. June and I were robbed of a special day. So no, we're not all good. He's specifically referencing Tom King.
Yeah.
I think that's how we concluded. No, okay, there's a little bit more here.
There's more, but yeah.
This isn't the start of a conversation. This is the end. So please don't drag me into a world I never wanted to be a part of, nor will I ever want to be a part of. I want to honor Loki by going back to producing art made with love for people who enjoy it for what it is, something that hopefully brings joy into their lives. And then he said, Mommy and Daddy miss you so very much. Loki, our love. And so so King issued this apology, but I think we can talk about it here. I didn't include it in the story because it would be a massive assumption, and I'm not sure if it was really relevant, but I've seen some people talk about it on Twitter. So Tom King actually went and posted like photos of his own dog on Twitter and him walking his dog.
Yeah.
He honestly, I actually, when I initially found out about that, that really pissed me off. I actually went back and checked his Twitter history, and this is something he's been doing for quite some time. So it's completely unrelated to what happened with Jay Lee and his dog.
It's probably tone deaf more than anything.
That's probably the best way of looking at it.
Yeah, so that's why
it comes off of him being an asshole, but I don't think it was done intentionally.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. That's why I didn't include it. Because I think I actually discussed it with Spencer.
Yeah.
We include it. And decided not to. But so he then posted a public apology on Twitter. As I have done privately, I'd like to publicly apologize to Jay Lee for my actions a few days ago. I should have talked with Jay before I sent a tweet about him that put his career at risk. He's literally admitting that he put his career at risk. He's admitting he put his career at risk. I made a critical mistake. Dude.
Yeah.
And it was totally intentional. He thought that everyone. So he thought that everyone would rally behind him because he was attacking ComixGate, which I actually found was really. I was surprised too that a bunch of people were calling him out. I saw Clayton Henry, who was a really good Valiant artist. In their heyday, was calling them out, and a bunch of other people were calling King out. And I was actually really surprised that that was happening. It kind of shocked me.
Well, the good thing is this completely blew up in his face.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like the translation to the statement is, I got blowback because nobody supported what I said, and Jay Lee didn't get canceled. I'm sorry I got caught.
Yeah. The only person, I think he saw support from Heather Antos.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
So
The whisper. He's a hero to the whisper.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he is. Oh, and here's the thing: the unintended consequences of this bull that is going on. So I went to my comic shop and I canceled pretty much all of my DC titles with the exception of 2. Hawkman, which is still pretty good, and then some of the Black Label stuff. But every time Tom King, tweets something stupid, a DC book gets canceled.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of every time a bell rings and an angel gets its wings. Instead, it's like Tom King tweets, DC gets canceled. I'll be honest. I've pretty much, like I said earlier, I've dropped. I don't even have a pull list anymore at my local comic shop. I've pretty much dropped buying comics. If I do buy anything new, it's like I'm really like looking for people's recommendations, and it's going to be something collected. It's going to be in a trade. It's not going to be floppies anymore. And like I said, I'm buying Goblin Slayer now. I'm not buying anime. I'm buying My Hero Academia.
Yeah, I no longer have anything Marvel on my list. Pretty much at this point, if I'm going to get anything, it's mainly going to be back issues, because I told my LCS, it's like, I want to support you guys, but I'm not supporting modern day comics anymore. And the only thing I think really that's been worth the crap coming out of DC these days, honestly, has been the Black Label stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, the only, like, what did they have? I guess they did that Black Label Scott Snyder book, Last Night on Earth or whatever, and then you had the White Knight stuff, Murphy's stuff, and then the Batman Extremities issue where they show Batman's junk.
Batarang.
Yeah, the Batarang. I forget what that was called.
The thing I thought was so funny about it is that they're trying to do the edgier, darker, more adult stuff, and that they showed the Bat Schlong and got blowback, and they're like, what are we gonna do? Let's never do this again. It's like, you're a bunch of freaking cowards.
Yeah, it's like, if you're gonna publish it, you need to be prepared for that pushback and be ready. Just be prepared.
Dude, that was the only time though that people were excited to talk about comics.
Right. Who's bigger, Batman or Ray Park?
Dude, people were talking about, like, this is canon now.
Dude, you want to know what people are excited about? We follow this guy who leaks Dragon Ball Super stuff like 2 or 3 days before it hits Viz, and it blows up, man. This leaker guy, it's Dragon Ball Super, and then you look at every time One Piece comes out, it goes viral on Twitter. People are talking about the latest chapter of One Piece, and it's not the anime. They're talking about the manga.
Comic books popping up. It's mostly people going, "Oh, Spider-Man's trending."
Or man, no, it's who got canceled today.
Like, who got canceled today? Or like, man, do you guys remember this old thing when Spider-Man was good?
Mm-hmm.
Like, nobody talks about the modern stuff. Everybody talks about the 80s runs, the 90s runs. Hell,
or it's like
nostalgic for the Clone Saga.
Or it's like they gender swapped a character, or they removed a character, they changed the character's name because it's now considered offensive or whatever.
Well, you got the new Warriors coming out too, which is
they're making fun of internet gas.
This is so dumb. Seriously,
don't want any.
That guy stop and think internet gas. His grandfather's internet gas.
They were definitely trying to go for like a Silver Age type of origin, but it feels definitely so out of touch.
So let's just finish off this what he said here. He said, "I will do what I can to repair this with Jay, and I will do better in the future. I'm sure you won't. I'm not going to offer explanations because they sound like excuses. Yes,
they are.
I found this was really interesting here. So he's apologizing, but then he says, "I'm not asking for forgiveness or understanding." Isn't that the whole purpose of an apology, is to ask for forgiveness? That's why you're apologizing, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
If you're not asking for forgiveness, then you're not really apologizing.
No, it's simply a token save face statement. That's all it is.
In a nutshell.
But I don't know. That just really stood out to me because if you are profoundly sorry, you would be asking for forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
That's because he's not sorry.
He's not.
Like I said, he got caught. That's the big thing.
And I just thought that was so jarring. He admits that he's not sorry in
the apology tour.
In the apology.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying I see what I did and I'm going to make up for it. What is he going to do? Cancel someone else? That is actually
I'm pretty sure that tweet was probably mandated by DC.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure, totally. And obviously my page is having issues, as you see, that my pop-up keeps coming up. So. But anyways, that's pretty much it. Yeah, welcome to me having issues with share screen. So remove. All right. So that was Tom King, and then we had this. But yeah, so I'm having issues. So let's just talk about it. So Dynamite, if someone else wants to share, that would be helpful. So Dynamite just announced, or reportedly, they released a statement. I think it was just a couple hours ago, right before we started. They released a statement. It was reported by Bleeding Cool and Games Radar, which has taken over Newsarama. I think they have the Newsarama on the actual website, but it's Games Radar there, which I just find funny.
Which is funny because it was tweeted out by the Newsarama Twitter account.
Yeah. And I looked at it. It looks like it was an email sent out. I reached out to my contacts. I didn't hear back from them. The statement wasn't published on their Twitter. It wasn't on their website. I looked on their Facebook. I didn't see anything. So it looks like it was sent in an email, and they didn't send it to us, which we do still get Dynamite emails sometimes. So yeah, we didn't get this one, which who knows? But yeah, I'm looking at their Facebook right now. They have like a Barbara. The latest post is from 9 hours ago, and it's a Humble Bundle for Josie and the Pussycats, it looks like. And then they have a Barbarella series by Mike Carey that's on sale. So they don't have it on their Facebook either. So who knows? My assumption it was either sent to these publications via email or it was sent to retailers potentially. So if someone has that up, can bring it up, share it.
Yeah, 1 second.
I got it.
I can share it. All right, go for it.
Yeah, there's Don. He's got it. Oh, come on, Don. No. Share it on our website. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Wait a minute.
Are you part of the Whisper Network?
So basically they sent this. It's like a 2-paragraph. You're still on the wrong site, Don. I can see it.
Yeah, hold on.
You're fired.
But anyway, so they sent it. It was like, I think they say something about like their first sentence is like equality and inclusion, and then they go on and like virtue signal for the first paragraph, and then in the second paragraph they say that they are like they're like association with X. They don't say who it was, but they say their association with these people has ended or something like that.
I feel kind of bad because we all know they're talking about EVS.
Yeah, they specifically talk about like a personal relationship with helping out his family, and they're specifically talking about Ethan.
Okay, so I posted the actual statement from Dynamite in our private chat. So
okay, that works. I can read that. All right, so it says, Dynamite Entertainment is a partner in the fight for equality and inclusion. Our company was founded on these core values more than 15 years ago, and they are essential to the creative process. I disagree.
Yeah.
That it's not that. No, that doesn't even make any sense. How is equality and inclusion?
It's buzzwords, man. It's 2020 HR buzzwords. I hear all the time at the company I work for as well.
Yeah,
I know.
Why can't they just replace that with merit is the standard? I mean,
because merit is a symbol of whiteness and white supremacy, Drew.
Oh God, that's right.
Didn't you get the package that we're assigning to all BIC freelancers now? It's that, what is that book called?
White Fragility?
Yeah, White Fragility. You didn't get that in the mail, Drew?
Oh God, no! I'm sorry. I must have
Drew had to suffer through that last week.
Yeah, I must have burned that. I must have burned that in the fire pit.
That's a joke. We did not send that.
Rewind. And because it's offensive, and we're going to cover White Fragility on Fridays now.
Yeah, what was that? What was that lady's name? Comics.
Robin D'Angelo.
Yeah, I know. Did she write this statement?
There it is. Don's got it now. It's at the bottom, Don.
Yeah,
I
got it. So where's the statement? Okay, there it is.
Yeah, we do not have that. That we did not send that out to freelancers. No. All right. So, as reported by Games Radar, their statement began: Dynamite Entertainment is a partner in the fight for equality and inclusion. Our company was founded on these core values more than 15 years ago, and they are essential to the creative process, the work of visionary artists and entrepreneurs that we are passionate about. Intolerance has no place in our company or our industry.
That's why I call the no shit statement.
They published The Shadow, who definitely
the
definitely is not tolerant of criminals.
Well, the other thing too is like, we found our company 15 years ago. We're all about the diversity and inclusion. Nobody gave a shit back then. Nobody was founding companies based off of that.
Nope.
I don't
companies
think anyone
nowadays
is founding
in the last
companies.
5 years, absolutely, but not 15-year-old companies.
I don't even think companies are being founded in that unless they're actual like political, specifically for a political purpose.
Yeah,
I don't think
companies that want to make money.
Do you think there's like actually a coffee company that's like their purpose is not selling coffee?
No, companies are not founding on that basis if they want to make money.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is I could argue that like Bad Reboot is now that's all they're about because they're not in the business of making actual quality films anymore. They're in the business of making propaganda.
Yeah, propaganda indoctrination.
Yeah.
But that's how they'll rewrite history, right? Is that they'll go and say, "Oh, we were founded with the purpose of promoting diversity and inclusion."
Yeah,
they're just
already doing that. They're already doing
Yeah.
that with their white.
fragility.
White. Well, they have the white supremacy handbook or whatever.
Oh yeah. But if you look on that list, I mean, Robin DiAngelo's stuff is on that list.
Oh yeah. Well, they also take issue with. We actually read it. We had an article where we went through their entire what was it, like 10 pages or whatever.
Oh, God.
I have it pulled up still because I still need to talk about it.
They specifically take issue with white women and Asian people.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole segment where they really target Asian people in that. I was like, wow.
Well, yeah, they target
Both sides
white women
of me.
too, mainly because of Robin DiAngelo. I mean, she goes after white women really hard, and it's because again, she's projecting her racism on everybody else. I mean, she admits clearly she is a racist.
Damn
And
it!
who
Me and
owns
Spencer
that
are gonna
reboot?
pull out our samurai swords.
Who owns
Dude,
that
we need to
reboot?
retake our honor.
I know, bro. We're gonna go Ghost of Tsushima on them, buddy.
Whoa, that's offensive to the West.
You gotta team up. You gotta team up with Roof Korea 92. Here in the chat.
Right.
We got our
Jorge's.
trio going. Let's do this. Let's ride.
I know Jorge wants to join too. He's gonna renounce his Puerto Rican heritage. He wants to be a Roof Korean.
Both parts of me are offended.
Oh, Don can come in. He could cut half of himself in with
A
put half of
roofery.
himself in with us.
Jorge, you still there?
Yeah, you didn't hear me?
Yeah,
I think
He
you
was,
got
he was too
someone
excited. He was running
over
up.
top.
yeah.
You got talked over. I think I didn't hear you.
I said, hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. There we go, Jorge. Grab your sword, buddy.
All right. So the statement concludes here, and this is where they're really targeting Ethan here. The impulse behind this brief association was that of helping a friend, which is Ethan, of many decades and his family, and not how that assistance could potentially affect our valued colleagues, partners, and friends. Well, you know what? I think their partnership with Ethan made them a lot of money and probably helped their partners, especially their whoever owns the Vampirella. Is Vampirella still licensed? Is that
It's still licensed? Yeah.
Okay, so it probably helped those people.
Yeah.
I don't
made them a
understand.
bunch of money.
Here's the thing that is beyond me. We can see it as consumers and as journalists in the community. When you go through the entirety of Comicsgate right now and you constantly see, the Indiegogos and stuff that are coming out, the really good quality projects that are coming out, I don't know how any company would not want to get in on some of that, because there's some great comics being made, and to get a piece of that action would be smart for any company looking to make money, especially when people are going for looking for good storytelling and things of that nature, and they're leaning towards going to Comicsgate and other places to get that. For a company to like cut off their nose to spite their face, I mean, this is stupid. You should be wanting to.
Not only that is that Steve and EVS are supposed to be friends, right? And I sure that
Nick Barucci, right? Is that who you're talking about?
Oh yeah, Nick Barucci. I don't know where I got Steve from, but yeah,
Steve
him and Nick.
Diamond Comics. I think.
That's right. It all blends together after a while. But yeah, him and Nick Barucci are supposed to be friends. And it's like I can't imagine what EVS is going through. This is like somebody he's known for a long time suddenly turning his back on him. And I guess it's to be expected because it's the fucking culture war. But
yeah, I mean, Ethan kind of addressed that in a live stream. So we in a previous write-up, I think in our main write-up, initial write-up, Ethan did like a 6-hour stream. And at the beginning of the stream, he kind of addressed what was going on. He detailed that Nick was like a good friend. He said he's still gonna like be friends with him. He said he had been on the phone with him. But he also said that he would no longer do business with him anymore from his perspective because he has too many weak points where these people can like go after Nick from, and it just makes him weak. It opens him up. He says it opens him up to weak points as well. So that's why he said he could no longer do business with him.
That's fair.
Also, quick correction. Dynamite actually owns Vampirella now.
No, really? Okay.
Bring it back up, Don.
2010.
Oh, we lost Don. We lost him. That's why it went away. All right. Well, no worries. We can still read the rest. I guess that's why they were doing all the Vampirella covers then. That makes more sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So, where's the last part here?
I wonder.
Yeah. Go ahead, Drew. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say like, I remember back in the Chaos days when Vampirella was under the same umbrella as Lady Death. And, I wonder if Dynamite will work out or try to get, a deal with Polito to use Lady Death. But I doubt that'll ever happen. I bet Polito's sitting back looking at all this shit saying, yeah, I'm not going to work with them.
I think he just mainly publishes his own things now. He just has his own publishing company, and he does his own thing. It seems like he's super successful.
Oh, he's killing it right now with all the Lady Death stuff that he's been putting out. Yeah, between people buying some of the older stuff and some of the stuff from the last big blowout they just did. So he just did 2 like swimsuit editions where he had a bunch of artists do Lady Death swimsuit pinups. Like, oh God, I love those too, man. Yeah,
the Firecracker one was great. The American
yeah, it was.
But yeah, so their statement ended the what does it say here? I think we already did that part. That association, it says the impulse behind this brief association was that of helping a friend of many decades in this family, and not how that assistance could potentially affect our valued colleagues, partners, and friends. That association is behind us, and this time has strengthened our resolve to continue working with the most diverse talent and creating the best comics possible.
So stunning and brave.
I think what Comics was saying earlier. It's an insult to me.
What are they gonna do? Are they gonna cancel like Anna as soon as they're done? With her cover.
The cover. Yeah. I looked at it today. That campaign has ended.
Yeah. So what are they just never going to work with Anna again?
I think it was still in demand, but I mean that's what that statement seems to be. I haven't seen if that Star Wars girl has posted anything.
I don't think Star Wars girl Comicsgate though.
No, she's not.
She's not. But I mean, she's definitely she sticks by
on EVS's streams and stuff.
Yeah, she sticks by her friends, and that's what I'm saying.
She's on the Jack Show with Cecil too, I think. But
that's what is Dynamite gonna say? Anybody associated with Ethan or friends with them? What are they gonna just use up whatever they get out of them and throw them away? They're not gonna use them again?
So Billy Tucci. Yeah. Well, Billy Tucci's campaign is still going. The
Mystery?
Mindy Wheeler's Vampirella variant cover campaign is still going. So the only one I saw that ended was Anna, and I think that was in demand previously. So I was surprised.
Yeah, I want to
I
say it was
surprised
completed and it was funded. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're not going to be canceling that.
Yeah,
Right,
Laughing Man.
they ended the campaign.
Yeah, Laughing Man says in the chat she's still doing her second.
They already
cover.
delivered all the issues, I think.
Yeah, I think it was in demand. You could still order it though, I think.
So apparently she's doing a second cover.
Yeah, because she had like a surprise announcement that it hadn't been released yet. And I was at the second cover then because I knew there was something listed on Indiegogo that was like surprise project, but it was a Dynamite thing. So it looks like they might still be doing that. We'll see what happens. I mean, this story is going to continue. I mean, the blood's in the water. They just need more. I mean, this statement is just chum. That's all it really is.
Well, the best part of it too is that Gail Simone. I know you did an article on this too.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, I'm done with Dynamite. It's like good.
Yeah,
and nothing was lost.
Yeah, nothing of value was lost.
I think we talked about that last week. We had someone like trying to. There were a couple folks on Twitter that were just trying to like they were taking issue with our original headline, saying that she wasn't involved, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" She tweeted right here, and it said that she wasn't being silent, and then she was like sad and disappointed or something, and then she actually came on and was like saying like, I wasn't talking about Cecil's cover, and it's like, dude, here's your tweets in an archive where you're literally responding to Kwanzaa, like.
His topics about the cover, yeah.
Yeah, it's like okay, and then even in that same tweet thread, when she was like her original tweet that we included in the story, if you go through and like look at her reply, she literally is like responding about questions about Dynamite. It's like okay, you're not. That's not what you're talking about. Get out of here. And then she comes out like what is it? Week later. Like literally with a 20 tweet thread about like why she's not working it not there anymore.
How many people are totally gonna read that?
And I will say like my favorite episode of Justice League Unlimited is written by Gail Simone, and that's the one where question double date. Yep, love it.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Written by Gail Simone.
She didn't write that alone. There's a lot of other people were.
I like
involved in that.
she got the credit for it, and I know they didn't write it alone because we've had Chuck Dixon on here before, and he talked about how the people who were doing Batman the animated series were working closely with him when he was doing his oh my gosh, why am I just blanking on
Birds
it?
of Prey?
No. When he was doing, he had this huge Batman run where he introduced Bane. There's like three.
The Nightfall run, yeah.
Yes, Nightfall.
Oh, Nightfall. Okay, yeah.
They were like collaborating with Chuck a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if Justice League Unlimited people weren't collaborating with a lot of other people who were writing Justice League.
A lot of the same writers, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Gail Simone was
talk
kind
about
of brought
another
in
guy
for that one time thing, I think. I think she
Gail
worked on a couple other, but yeah.
Gail hasn't worked with Dynamite for like 5 years.
So she was doing some kind of, I think she was supposed to be doing some kind of charity thing with them, and I think that's what that she was doing. And I know they just did some huge Humble Bundle with her, like Red Sonja stuff.
Yeah. And talk about a guy that got screwed, man. Poor Chuck Dixon. That dude's amazing.
Dude, Chuck Dixon
he's awesome.
Is
have you
great.
seen his interviews or like his Chuck answers questions on his YouTube channel? They're great.
I've seen them. I haven't watched them. I wish that's like Comics was saying earlier. That's one of the YouTube things I just got behind on.
Gail doesn't have anything with. Sorry.
I feel like there's lots of stories there. I just haven't had the time to look at it. Maybe I need to get our boy JB Stoddard on that. Maybe he takes a look. Maybe find something in there. He's our DC guy. He covers all our DC stuff on Bounding. JB.
Yeah.
Just things. But yeah, no. I mean, we've had Chuck here. I know. Like, I think I might. I don't want to take credit, but I remember like sending him the G.I. Joe story with the guy was like saying like, Snake Eyes doesn't need the mask on, and like Chuck like did a video response to that, and then I think there was something else like he responded to like Kevin Smith talking about like Green Arrow, where he like killed Green Arrow or whatever, So like I think that was like the beginning of the Q&As, and then he kind of like went full bore on the Q&As, and you just kind of see that like YouTube evolution. So yeah. But yeah, no, Chuck's great. He's got I know him and Brett Smith have got a graphic novel coming out on Amazon called Blood. We did an interview with them a while ago about that. It's like I think it's like 18th century. I think because it's like a vampire werewolf. I think it's I think it's mainly a werewolf story if I remember correctly. But it looks good. It's supposedly was supposed to be like a feature film script that's in development, and then they wanted to try and launch the graphic novel first, and then see how that does, and then maybe be able to pitch it to a film studio for adaptation. But yeah, he's got a lot of stuff going. I know he's collaborating with your boy Zach. He's got the Expendables project that he's working on with Graham Nolan. I know he does a lot with. He's still got his. I probably can't say this because we'll probably get banned because they're banning everyone who talks about this now. But he's got his alt hero spin-off story, which I can't.
They're banning people for talking about.
Yeah,
that book.
Yeah, about James. They're banning people for. So here, they're banning people for talking about James Bond's Quartermaster. That makes sense.
What? YouTube is doing this?
No,
really?
I think Twitter was doing it. I think it was
Twitter. Okay.
But who knows? We're on Twitter right now too.
We're on Twitter right now.
That's right.
So yeah, if that makes sense, they were banning people who were talking about James Bond's Quartermaster, and Chuck Dixon did a book based off of the writings of James Bond's Quartermaster.
Oh my
If
God.
that makes sense. Catch on.
I really liked his run on G.I. Joe. That was pretty good.
Yeah, he's got some good G.I. Joe stuff, dude. Like he's still churning out. He's got like his he has like a novel series where it's like a time travel stuff. He's got like 5 or 6 of those now. So he's got a lot, man. The dude just like he's constantly writing, constantly. I don't know how, like constantly writing. He writes more than I do. And I feel like I'm writing all the time. So
He doesn't sleep, that's why.
No, he's got a solid formula. I loved reading his Birds of Prey run. His Airman stuff was great as well.
Airboy.
Oh, sorry,
right?
Airboy. Yes.
Yeah.
Thinking of something else. But no, he just knows how to. He just gets all the kinks worked out in his head as he's writing it down. So it's really impressive stuff.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on from comics. Let's talk a little bit about Star Trek. So do we want to talk Kurtzman first, or do we want to talk our friend Ethan Peck?
I don't know. Which one do you want? Do you want the cancer?
They're both end on terribly pathetic notes.
Do you want cancer in the front or in the back?
Comics, you're a special guest. You get a pick.
Let's talk about Peck first.
Okay.
That's like the difference between Brie Larson and
last.
Save all your rage for last. All right. I think my Chrome is now operating. It probably will malfunction as soon as I bring it up.
Reduce the tabs.
Hey, I noticed you got your mic set up all done, so that's good.
Yeah, I guess you weren't here last week.
No, I passed out, sadly. I wish I was there.
Yeah, I figured it out. So you remember this piece here where my mic wouldn't fit into it?
Yep.
Basically, I just had to unscrew it and then screw the shock mount into to the boom. And I was like, I just had it laying here, and I was like, this isn't the right boom mic. And then I looked it up because I was going to buy another boom. And I was like, no, I have that. That's what I have. Like, and so I just used the pictures to set it up and figure it out.
What mic do you have?
It's a Marantz Professional. I think the number, I forget the number. It's like 2000 U2000. It's a USB mic, but it has like really, really high reviews, and everyone. I mean, the guys say I sound way better than what I did previously. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Share screen. Here we go. Oh, see, I don't know why.
I'm glad you're taking your time because I needed a really good stiff drink for Star Trek.
Well, speaking of a drink, I actually need to refill my water here because I can feel my throat going dry.
Every time I did a review of Picard, I had to have whiskey on hand.
Man, I went a couple episodes and I ran out of freaking rum, and then I ran out of the vodka, and then I just stopped. I was like, you know what, this is not a good path for me to go.
I feel bad for you guys watching those.
I quit reviewing
shows.
it right in the middle of recording video 3. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, I remember Gary and I. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Script.
Well, I think I'm one of the few YouTubers that's reviewed every episode.
Yeah, your reviews are great, by the way.
Why do you torture yourself, Script?
Thank you.
But I remember Gary and I were doing like Titans reviews. I think it was back and forth.
We need to get people talking about it somehow.
And we stopped at like I think he wasn't able to join me with 4, and then I just stopped at 4 with my review, which was that episode was actually really good, as Mark Lasirth can attest to. I don't know if he's here in the chat, but then we got to 5, and I was like, holy crap, that was like the Superboy episode, and I was like, this is absolute garbage, and I just stopped watching. I had like no interest in watching after that. It was just trash. I think Superboy might have been 6. 5 was another one, and it was downhill from 4, but 6 was just I hated it, and I stopped watching Titans from then. Plus, that first episode was absolute garbage too. All right, so Ethan Peck. Here's our headline: Star Trek: Strange New Worlds actor Ethan Peck claims Michael Burnham gives Spock permission to be human. This wasn't actually our original headline. I think what was our original headline, Jorge? We were doing something else, and then I was like, "Holy crap! Did he actually say that? Why aren't we using that as the headline? Like, let's do that one."
Oh, sorry. I watched the entire stream a couple times, and by the time it was time for me to make the headline, I was already kind of drained. When you caught that, I was like, "Oh my god, you're absolutely right." But I think
because you had it in the article, and I was just like, "What? Did he really say that?" I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I'm like, I'm not the hugest Trek fan, but like I know, like
everybody knows that's wrong.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah. Basically, some update on Strange New Worlds. That was it. Or something.
Yeah.
On those lines.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, he's the Star Trek Discovery Spock, because Strange New Worlds isn't really a thing.
Yeah, it's never going to be a thing.
Well, he was giving they were giving it like they were giving an update on Strange New Worlds and like what it was going to look like, and then he said this like absolutely like ridiculous like Spock
vaporware.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially after Lower Decks comes out, like oh gosh, they're just
I
done.
saw that. Oof, it was great.
Yeah, see, Deviant Pork agrees with me. I stopped Titans when Superboy arrived. It was a torture. Yes, it was. It was trash. I'm glad I wasn't the only one he stopped after.
And it's
that
got
show.
a 3rd season debuting any week now, I think.
Yeah, I won't be watching.
Neither will I.
I think I need to cancel my DC Universe subscription.
Yeah, they gave an ad. It was like 26 weeks of Trek, starting out with Lower Decks and then ending with the new season of Discovery.
I mean, I'd rather have 26 weeks of M&Ms every single day.
Wait, what are they doing?
26 weeks of Star Trek.
What are they showing? Is it what are they showing? Is it old stuff?
Well, I guess they got 13 episodes of Lower Decks and then 13 episodes of Discovery.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, so they're just going. Oh, okay. So it's not 26 leading up to Discovery. It's 26 including Discovery.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So I mean, it's 26 weeks if you can make it without suiciding yourself. It'd be great.
Basically 2020 is going to end worse than it began because it's going to end with the Star Trek Discovery.
Is that even possible at this point?
Well, I think I mentioned.
Of course it is.
Oh, it's totally possible. What happened to those like killer hornets? Where did they go? They're gonna come back and be even.
They're killed by a tropical storm, which is probably going to turn into a tsunami and wipe out like one of the coasts.
Didn't they just come out with like some like UFO stuff too?
Oh,
Yeah,
don't get me started.
Bigger than Earth that was orbiting the sun, apparently.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there was like a giant cube they caught orbiting the sun.
Yeah, I saw it. It was a board cube.
Oh, great. Yeah, so it's the board or the Death Star.
Too late. We're already getting assimilated by those SJWs and Antifa crap. Force can come in and be like, oh, wait, we were here already. Sorry. Bye.
And then they saw something. There was like they found like vehicles that were not built on Earth.
Nope, DOD admitted it according to New York Times.
Yep.
Yeah. New York
And
Times
isn't that
report.
grand? Shouldn't that be like on every major headline, just like nonstop right
No,
now?
shit.
You would think, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think everyone's so blasé about everything now because of what's been going on in the world. It's like aliens
Government-
could freaking land on the White House lawn and nobody would freaking care at this point.
We could have Independence
I'd be like,
Day.
of course.
We could have Independence Day, and no one would care. It's just like,
Basically, like every physics teacher or physicist in the world be like, "Huh, I guess there is things that can travel faster than the speed of light."
Yeah.
Exactly. Where are the physicists freaking out? Like, hey, the light barrier, it can be broken somehow, guys. Can we talk about this? Einstein's rolling in his grave right now. Even he's kind of freaking out, but I guess not.
we're supposed to be talking about Star Trek, but we're way more interested in this.
Real science.
Real science.
Real aliens. They're real aliens.
I call
Oh
it the
man.
Tom King effect. When you're reading something of Tom King, but your first reaction is to go look at something else.
Right, exactly.
That's true.
You know, speaking of Star Trek, maybe we're lucky. It's just the Vulcans waiting for our, for us to destroy each other, our countries, and then they're going to come in and do first contact.
Yep.
Fine, just hurry up with it.
Well,
Yeah, we're
but
getting
see,
close to the supposed World War III in that fiction, right? So
but
Yeah.
Yeah, the eugenics wars were supposed to be in the 90s, so maybe we're
I think we're actually closer to Fallout's timeline as far as like, the war with China more so than anything else.
right, exactly.
What are they going to do? Kill us by stealing more of our IPs?
Maybe.
They'll just collapse our infrastructure using the internet, collapse our banks, our water,
Or
open up all the
over
dams.
Emails and
sheer
contact.
mass of people.
All right. So do we just want to skip to Ethan Peck stuff, or do we want to hear what Kurtzman had to say about?
Let's
Stranger
hear
Worlds
the
2?
Peckerwood.
Yeah.
Talk about Kurtzman.
Go right
He's
to Peck.
an
Okay.
amazing creative genius.
That's him right there, right?
No, that's easy.
So this was ring the bell there. Maybe not. I don't know.
No.
No.
Oh, there, yes. I thought you were talking about Ethan. I'm like, no.
Oh, I was thinking about the ad, bro.
perfect
So-
fit is useful.
Yeah, find the perfect fit. There you go. 4 simple questions. No measurement required.
Good.
Yeah, that's an ad because that's because my wife has been using mine.
Yeah, that's the reason.
No, no. You know what it is? It's because it's Jorge's story. It's the Sailor Moon lingerie story.
on that rabbit hole, huh? See, that's why I use other browsers for those type of research. Thank you.
Exactly. And you see that, and the more you protest, the more guilty you look. You just got to roll with it, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I don't have any problem with this ad. I'm not. I'm just offering an explanation.
John's a real man. He's shopping for his wife. There you go.
I'll start by saying that Spock's interaction with Michael Burnham is essential to transforming Spock from somebody who's been born on Vulcan, who's half human, and has been taught to be Vulcan. And I think Michael Burnham gives him the permission to be human and teaches him what it is to be human.
So they completely ignore his mom.
Not only that is that they just
Mom's in the
completely
show, isn't it?
ignored the Spock, his character, his history, the fact that he's been fighting against his human side.
Well, that struggle has been there since we were introduced to the character, right? And you can see that flare up every so often.
Yes.
And that's kind of the whole point of Spock. It's that duality where he's trying to, overcompensate and be more Vulcan than I guess what he's supposed to be because he knows he's half human. And unfortunately here he's like, well, my adopted supposed sister is what gave me permission to be human. Totally makes a lot of sense, guys. Let's just, roll with the punches.
Not the mother who was a school teacher, loving and
No.
caring and logical enough to win over Sarek.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing that kills me too is like in the original series too. There's that one episode where he thinks he killed Kirk, and he actually gets that genuinely surprised reaction when he finds out he's alive, and he's happy to see him, and then he realizes that he displayed human emotion and quells it really quickly.
And that's the best part of the character when Leonard was playing him because he was able to jump back and forth really, really well. Not only through the series, but even in the movies. When Spock died in the engine room, saving the Enterprise, you saw a little bit of that break out.
Yeah.
In that conversation, the conversation between him and Kirk right before he passed. So See,
Even his conversation to Kirk about V'ger, how V'ger can't understand the concept of emotion and human interaction. Like, that was some great understanding and performance of Spock by Mr. Nimoy.
Yeah, and that scene from Wrath of Khan is probably one of the best scenes in cinema. I mean, just that the whole ending of Wrath of Khan is just so great. And talk about just great performances, not just by Nimoy, but Shatner as well, because the whole thing where he's talking about how I'm being human, and then he breaks up while he's saying that. It's like that fucking grade A cinema that we don't get anymore.
Yeah,
Nope.
Right. No, I saw I saw Star Trek Continues, and even the dude that was doing Spock in that one, I guess this episode
God
where
Haverkoken or something like that.
so I guess a Romulan woman, or a projection of this Romulan captain was seducing him, and there was this struggle against his
Vic's show,
human
right?
side.
That's Vic Mignogna's show, and the Romulan woman, I believe, is the daughter of the original actor who played that Romulan lieutenant in the original series.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it looks
But yeah.
identical to her. So
That's crazy. Good. That's good casting. Good on them.
We could have gotten that one, but no, we got this.
Nope.
But let's be honest, the best part of Wrath of Khan was Richard Montalban's chesticles. Those were just amazing.
Oh,
Like, those right there,
he was a fit man up until the end.
he
danced.
was a very fit man.
I remember an interview on one of the late programs where someone, I think they asked him, were they props, and he was like, "Nah, that's just all me, baby."
They shaved him and they put on a little bit of makeup and then they put on the scar after the first attack, and that was pretty much it. The rest is all Montalban.
It was all push-ups there and passion. Thank you, Don.
See, I'll give him the bell, but I won't give Vash the bell. Sorry.
Sounds like Henry Cavill there. Dude, that guy got jacked.
Oh man,
For The Witcher.
Good
Superman.
John.
Superman.
Seeing him do his workout routines is ridiculous. It makes me. I look at my kettlebells. I'm like, okay, I gotta work on this.
Kettlebells are awesome, man. That is some very good exercise.
Hell yeah, the swings. You
Yeah.
want to look like you're sculpted. Do some swings and do some the pulls and whatnot. That'll get you real jacked up.
I just got the free weight dumbbells. I don't have the space for kettlebells.
Well, you don't need a lot. You just need just really two. One that's like kind of heavy and one that's a little bit more heavy, so you can alternate.
That's it.
Are there no parks in Toronto?
There are lots of parks, but the thing is, like, I have enough space in my living room where I can do all my workouts, and I have like a very old school weight system, so I can put on as many plates as I need to, so I can adjust and change. The only thing I don't have is like a bench bar, but I've got pull-up bars, so that I can do similar exercises. Or I could just do push-ups with weights on my back.
I mean,
Get a
you can-
backpack.
I mean,
and some weight.
if you have free weights, you can just lay on the ground and do it that way too.
Yep.
I am so woefully out of shape now.
Dude, I'm with you, comics.
Unrealistic
That's one
body
thing that I've-
standards.
It's one thing that I need to get back on.
Yeah.
I try and do a walk every night with my wife, but sometimes we miss, like tonight.
Don't forget to do those foot rubs. Those are important.
I've been doing those. She likes those.
Just hire yourself a sweatshop manager and they'll beat you into submission.
I think that might. I might do that after the baby comes. We'll see. All right. Did you guys read the second part? Here?
No, we were talking about Wrath of Khan.
Oh, okay.
The better Star
awesome.
Trek.
So
Yeah, the good stuff.
So we stopped talking about Ethan Peck because of UFOs, and then we tried to get onto it, and then we started talking about Wrath of Khan.
Well, we're talking about Spock's humanity and the way it kind of manifests throughout, the movies and in the TV series. So we kind of diverted, talking about how he doesn't need freaking anyone's permission.
Yeah, even in the 2009 series, that I thought they did a somewhat decent job of showing that he has like those human.
Like when he was a kid, the whole thing when he was entering into the Starfleet and he was dealing with the other Vulcan. It was pretty decently done.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: like when Ethan says this, he pretty much says Spock has no agency over his life.
Yes.
Well, it doesn't because the Discovery writers control it now, right?
Well, not only that, I think they're trying to also prove to the fans that Burnham is really as important as they're trying to claim that she is.
She's the key to everything.
Yeah, she's the Mary Sue that connects everything together.
Oh my gosh.
She's the reason why the Federation exists.
Yep.
She will be. She will be.
Right
they will. That's why I said that.
It's gonna slide out. You're gonna see Ramen. You're gonna see Vulcan. You're gonna see Earth. You're gonna see Andoria. It's gonna be awesome.
She seeded the entire universe with life.
That sounds hot.
Oh, so like in that episode of TNG where you had the bald woman from the hologram talking about how they seeded the galaxy. That's just Michael Burnham in her final form.
Oh
Yes.
no!
The time travel gives you the chemo look.
I think there was like a Justice League story on that too, where they go into like beyond the wall with the
Oh yeah,
core,
Lex Luthor's taken beyond the wall. Yeah.
They travel through time or whatever, and they see like the
That's an old
beginning of
sci-fi
creation or something. Yeah.
Well,
That's
yeah, it's an old sci-fi
that
show.
was also the a time one with Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and Batman, right? To go back into the Old West. in the future
Yeah,
and
I think
stuff.
so. Yeah.
What's the
Yeah.
future? Something, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, this is how interesting New Trek is right now. We keep diverging away from it.
Better, more interesting
Exactly.
stories and television shows.
But yeah, I mean, Ethan said that Burnham gives him permission as if, he's on the choke chain from his baby sister and has to do what she says or else, or he's going to get smacked around, which I'm assuming the actor probably like, but that's not Star Trek at all, right? That doesn't align very well with what we know of Spock over the last, 50 years?
55 years, yeah, pretty much.
So they took 55 years worth of character history, and in that one, 2 sentences right there, he left a nice steamer on top of it.
Well,
Yep.
what I found interesting about this is it sounds that because they were the panel they were talking about this was the Discovery panel, but when they were asking the questions, they were asking about Strange New Worlds because they talked to this guy here, Anson Mount, and then they talked to
Rebecca Romaine.
Yeah, is that how you say her name? Romaine?
Yeah, Rebecca Romaine, just like the lettuce.
Yes. She's down there.
And
They talked to
Anson
her-
Mount is a really good actor, and quite frankly, having him on anything under Kurtzman is a waste of his talent.
Yeah.
Well,
Have you ever
Just
seen
like how they
Hell on
wasted
Wheels?
Bruce
That-
Greenwood in Star Trek with him playing Pike as well. He played a pretty good Pike also.
Well, it also seems to have made him very antagonistic to fans as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's had some comments about.
Oh,
been
man,
very
that's a shame.
vocal. He's been very vocal towards.
Well, didn't he
certain-
play a character on Marvel who couldn't speak beforehand? So is he just kind of like making up for lost time?
Yeah, Black Bolt.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. Honestly, he was a perfect casting for Black Bolt because he really does have the ability to really just kind of act with his face. So he was a good pick. Unfortunately, it was just a crappy TV show.
I didn't watch a single episode.
Yeah.
Neither did I.
Just imagine the last season again.
It's so magical. I can't tell you.
By magical, he means a complete train wreck.
Don just like the dog.
Yeah, the dog was great.
He was the highlight.
Yeah, so Peck says that essential to the development of Spock as we follow along between the conflict between his emotion and logic going forward into what we first see Leonard Nimoy in the original series. Yeah, so this is what I was getting at. So they were talking about, it was the Discovery panel, but they were talking about Strange New Worlds, and so he's answering questions about Strange New Worlds, and it sounds like Michael Burnham might be showing up at Strange New
Oh,
Worlds.
God.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Though.
It's a huge character point for me and will dictate a lot of behavior for Spock because of his interaction with Michael. So I think that's most important for Spock.
I mean, right there, that gives fans hope that they had for Strange New Worlds, and just kind of puts it down the toilet.
She's going to teach Captain Pike how to be a better captain
Yeah,
because
And
she's
Spock
the
had to be a
bestest
better
ever.
Vulcan.
she's gonna automatically know the Enterprise, like it's the back of her hand.
Just name her Mary Sue.
Because she
Just-
invented it.
Discovery took the formula for Ray and added steroids to it. I mean, Jesus Christ. Michael Burnham is like the one character like I want to invent 1,000 terrible deaths for, like because
Tell us how you really feel, Drew.
Huh?
Tell us
Well,
how
yeah,
you really feel.
I mean, it just burns me. Like this character was terrible from the get go. You know, from the very first conception when they stole the idea from Anas. I mean, it was just.
It sounds like Drew needs some
terrible.
counseling on his misogyny.
Yeah, you know.
Those are re-education.
No, my misogyny meter.
Send him to a re-education camp.
No, my misogyny
What'd you say
meter
last
only
week,
works
Drew?
one way. It works on full all the time.
You know what you need?
What did you say
Sat
last
down
week,
and
Drew?
Watch it again.
I want movies that objectify women.
Yeah, damn right. Yes, bring back good objectification again. You know what happened to good full frontal nudity in context? You know.
Well, they got everybody's fix from all those American Pie films.
Oh, boy.
Oh God. Script. Those were god awful. You know.
There's still episodes of Code Confidential out there somewhere.
Yeah. Well.
Oh boy.
Nobody? Okay.
I haven't heard about that show in years.
Don's like, hey, give me the Cinemax 90s package, please.
It's got to be after 9 o'clock though. Don't screw around. But you know, I understand. I feel you, Drew, because you know what, this show is able to put together really talented ensemble on the acting side, right? Michelle Yoon, whoever Michael Burnham is in real life, because that's how memorable she is, and of course Anston Mount and Ethan Peck, right? But the writing is so god awful that even good actors can make it look good.
Well, I just can't figure out why. Why do you have to weave her into everything, into the greater lore?
Because they have to undo everything that was done by a straight white male. That's the reason why.
Exactly.
Wow, I see a pattern.
They can't stand on its own. They have to go back and retread everything so that everybody can get that nostalgia hit. So the only way to do that is to make her so important to the story.
I mean, they could have made her a compelling character within the context of just that show.
No, those don't exist anymore.
No, I mean that's unacceptable. That's racist and sexist. Thank you very much, because you're expecting quality.
For real.
Well, there's a perfect example of, it's funny because I was having this conversation last night with some people about, about playing Star Trek Online, because I logged in for a second and was checking out characters, and I started playing a new Klingon character because they made some changes to the Klingon story in the game. So I was messing around with that, and I was sitting there thinking, because they have Discovery stuff in STO, but the actual Discovery missions in that game are written better than the television show ever could be. Like, it actually makes Discovery, somewhat coherent and tolerable.
Here's the thing, though. It's like with Star Wars and with Marvel. Some of the Marvel movies, they're having to use the other IP properties out there, like comics and video games, to explain stuff that should have been done. As Sir Doctor always says, they're so bad at what they do that they need other mediums to explain really generic situations.
Oh, that was like the best thing, was reading the IDW comics explaining the reason why Khan was a white guy in Into Darkness. It was so terrible.
For fear that he would be recognized. Jeez.
Yeah.
Wait, they actually explained it?
Yeah, they did. It was absolutely terrible.
One of the Countdown series, right? Yeah.
What was
there was the Countdown series, which was for...
That was for
09.
Yeah, that was for the 09 movie. And then there is a ongoing story from IDW for Star Trek, which takes place in the Kelvin universe. And they explained the whole thing with Khan.
They also make Harry Mudd a woman in that one.
That makes no fucking sense.
What was the explanation?
They just made her a woman, and then they arrested her and kept her ship, which they used in Into Darkness. That's the one that they're flying in Klingon planet.
Are you kidding me?
No, I am not.
No, he's not.
No, he's not kidding.
Well,
I'd forgotten about that, actually.
What was
Yeah, I just remembered it when you brought up the con stuff.
Yeah, the con thing was actually a miniseries, and I had all of it. I read, and I was just like, I'm not sure how I feel about this.
Oh, they also have
I feel like this should be
Robert
explained
April.
in the movie.
Yeah, they also did a Robert April series where Robert April has the Enterprise from the actual TOS days. He stole it, and that's why they built the Enterprise that we see in 09. It was to replace it.
And it goes back to overcompensation. I mean, it's just like, remember in Highlander with Ramirez being played by the awesomeness that is oh my god, James
Clancy Brown.
No.
Sean Connery is
Sean
Ramirez,
Connery,
right?
right?
Yeah, Sean Connery
Sean
was
Connery's
Ramirez.
Ramirez. Yeah, sorry. Clancy Brown is the Krogan.
Yeah, Clancy
Kurgan.
Brown's the Kurgan, man.
But here's the thing, though. I mean, you hear him trying to speak Spanish. It's the most butchered, funniest thing, especially as a Spanish speaker, right? It's hilarious. I don't need that explained. That's Sean freaking Connery. I'm okay with that. Don't explain it to me. It happens. Just leave it the hell alone. And
Plus, he's not actually a Spaniard. He's a Highlander, or he's a.
He's Egyptian.
He's Egyptian.
He's Egyptian playing. He's a Scotsman playing an Egyptian to supposedly have a Spanish accent.
Yeah.
All right, Robert Downey.
And just go. I mean, it's fun. Just roll with it, right? I'm like, don't even try to explain it. Whatever, it is what it is, and move on and actually try to make a good story. But instead here, they're trying to
Why do you have a
explain
Scottish
why-
accent? Why? I was in there for quite some time before moving to Spain, and the accent kind of stuck. No, it's probably terrible.
No, it was good. I mean, he probably fit in like a sore thumb in the Liberian Peninsula, right? They're like, oh, you're totally one of us, bro.
I've lived long enough that whenever I travel, I just use the accent of the local community.
There you
And then
go.
Christopher Lambert, who's like French, can't even do Scottish.
Yeah. But he was so awesome in that movie.
Yeah.
He was,
I love the scenes of
of
the Scottish Highlands in that film. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
And we did it again. We were talking Star Trek and got onto Highland.
Well, give it
And then
time.
you have the Kurgan, who is supposed to be Russian, who doesn't have a Russian accent.
Yeah, give it time. There's supposed to be a reboot coming in Highlander as well.
God.
So
Shut the hell up, Drew.
It's gonna be a all-female reboot.
We covered that.
They did that. It was called The Raven, and it got canceled.
Oh,
no,
I love the
actually, they could have done that well because Amanda was a good character, but the only problem is, again, they dropped the ball on it, and the writing was crap.
Drew, you're wrong. Amanda was a good side quest. She was never meant to be the main quest of any story. That's it. I'm sorry. I gotta disagree with you. I was a big fan of the Highlander series. I watched a lot of it. And no. Amanda was definitely a good side quest. She had no business having her own show. There's just nothing there. That was worth it.
Really? I mean,
Yeah.
I thought she was all
Especially
right.
when she lost her hair, right?
Yeah. When they gave her the butch
Kurtzman,
haircut,
that's
it was
cool.
done. Yeah, that's
And see,
true.
we're back to a whole other subject, guys, because that's where Star Trek is right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nobody cares.
Nobody gives a shit.
Sadly, that is where Star
Even
Trek
Star
is.
Trek fans don't even give a crap about Star Trek right now. That's how bad it is. I would rather
You can play a
watch-
drinking game of whenever we change subjects from when we skip back to new
Well-
track. As soon as we change, take a
Well,
shot.
Well, here's the
Is it not legally endorsed by
Hand
banning the
sanitizer.
here's the thing. And this is why I think the fact that we get such a good turnout. We get such a good turnout for Trek Tuesdays, and also like when I do Pegasus Actual on Thursdays. We turn to like retro reviews and do older stuff because it's better. I mean, there's nothing memorable that's out there right now other than maybe something like the Orville or the Expanse or something along those lines.
Dark.
Dark.
A lot of it has to do with the fact that, with these pre-existing IPs that they're trying to go back and write in, okay, instead of telling a whole new story within that universe, they want to interconnect it with older characters that people fell in love and grew up with. So that way you get the memory, injection, like Don likes to say, and it brings you to the property, and they completely take crap all over it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
and
you're right. And that's why those shows are doing so well. I mean, with Pike's comments, like, it's so artificial. I'm trying to fit Spock's narrative to be within Burnham's box. And I'm not talking about the fun one.
Phrasing.
Yeah. I love that phrasing.
Thank you. And it's just a hot piece of shit because, as a Trek fan going on, oh my God, I'm 30 years now.
Mm-hmm.
It's frustrating. It's not even making one angry, for me at least. It's just super frustrating.
Yeah, it is, dude.
Because you can have someone in freshman college, doing fan fiction, probably do a better job. I could probably go through the depths of Tumblr right now and find better fan fiction.
Absolutely.
Because those people care about the franchise. The people who are writing Trek right now, the franchise is either secondary or in the third position, and their politics is number one because they want to deconstruct. Oh, too many whiteys, too many crackers are up in this joint, so we got to completely deconstruct all this, right? Yep. And make it Wimax, Latinx. I swear to God, I hear that all the time.
And Kurtzman basically laid it out. It's a platform for their politics. Yeah. It's not about Trek. It's about pushing their agenda.
Exactly. And that I mean that was just like, I sat there, I heard that comment, and I'm like, really? Did this guy really just come out and admit that?
And what sucks is that Roddenberry, in his view, he kind of had a similar view, but in a very different take, right? He wanted to show us, hey, this is where we can go.
Yeah, exactly. But that's completely different from what we're seeing coming out of Trek these days. It was the utopian future, the idea that we put our differences behind us. There's no more racism, or poverty, or any of these like issues that we face today in modern times. And it shows you the potential of humanity at its best, not at its worst, which is what New Trek is. It's humanity at its worst with better technology.
New Trek is like that new parent who just wants to beat you over the head with the photo of the kids over and over again until you get sick of it. That's
the child abuse today. Do you want to tell us something?
Well, did he actually call Star Trek a platform?
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did. He said it in the interview.
Yeah.
Was that in the San Diego Comic?
Yeah, it was the one where he was being interviewed by, I guess, some dude and a lady, and he legit says Star Trek is a platform for them to go and push their agenda in so many words. But he did use the word platform.
Okay.
Yeah, he clearly said platform, and it's just, I mean, I was shaking my head at that because it's, my God, I can't believe somebody actually came out and said it.
It's ballsy because it wasn't even a Gordian slip, right? He just came out and just said it.
Well, they're emboldened right now because of what's been going on in the world. So
they have to.
They I wouldn't say they have to, but the screen's been pulled back at this point. I mean, the whole thing that's been going on with the protesting, and then the whole thing with the beer bug. Yeah, I mean, the curtain has definitely slipped, and they're not hiding it. I mean, hell, Reddit even had it talking about where discriminating against the majority is perfectly fine. Exactly. And they had to go and redact that immediately. So you can actually go to the Wayback Machine and find where they actually said it. And then like a couple hours later, it's gone. So they're not even hiding it anymore. They want to discriminate.
No, I remember one of like my first kind of actual like written pieces when I first started. It was, I actually didn't write it for Bounding. I wrote it for the Federalist. Was basically just these people admitting what their agenda was for comics, and that was like in 2015. And they were just like, "This is what we want to do. And we aren't going to be happy until we get this happening." And it wasn't like, and they were basically like, "We need to make Wonder Woman a lesbian. Captain America has to be gay." Like that's what their goals were, and I mean, they're achieving it right now.
I'm not surprised about that, John. Freaking
It's just the same. It's the same. They were empowered. They were empowered back then in 2015, and you're seeing it.
Were they actually saying that publicly back in 2015?
Oh yeah, Comics Alliance. Yes. I mean, the whole article is just quotes from them.
Yeah, the Alphabet Mafia has always been nuts. I mean,
it's been happening. I saw it in my college campus 2016. Like, things were being said by people in power trying to influence like young journalists about the direction that the country's going, and we need to, pick a side. When every time that I went to a journalist class, it was about being impartial, being all about the facts, and you going where the evidence leads you. But no,
and letting the audience make a decision for themselves. Not being your point is to provide the facts, like you said.
Yeah.
But the issue now is journalism is no longer journalism; it's activism. That's what we're seeing from all these major outlets, Vox, Vice. Hell, I mean, even once what used to be reputable outlets like the New York Times and whatnot. So
yeah, awful because
arguably that they were ever reputable.
Yeah.
I mean, Don's got a good point because back in 2008, when I got my associates in broadcast journalism, that's what I got taught in broadcasting school. Was priority one is to inform, priority two is to entertain, and priority three is to do both of those things together. That should always be the gist of what you're trying to accomplish. And when you go with just a part of priority one being to inform, that tells you that you should be reporting the relevant facts of what's going on. And right. I was taught the old school way. I was thankful. I'm thankful for my experience where I got my degree from, because we were one of the last classes that were taught that way.
I think the issue too is mixing journalism with entertainment, because then you get people like John Oliver, and if you make something entertaining enough, you can basically spread propaganda really easily, which is the reason again why we see them breaking into entertainment and doing what they're doing, like with New Trek.
Comics, you remember the Daily Show with Jon Stewart? That was
I did
back in early 2000s and mid 2000s, and a lot of people, in our age group, unfortunately, were taking that as real news. And John Oliver's, British crap is just a new edition of the same old, turd right now.
He was on the Daily Show.
I never watched the Daily Show. It was something I was aware of, but it's not anything I really kind of gave a crap about. Or Colbert.
Hey, old Toxic Man.
There's Toxic. There he showed up.
Freaking egg.
I do want to point out, not to toot our. Well, we're gonna toot our own horn here. We actually got, so it wasn't even a retweet. She literally went on the site and shared our article from the page, and it was Deborah Messing.
Wow,
So
talk about someone who was really liberal and out there.
Yeah. So Jorge did a story today on, or it was yesterday, I think, right? Yeah, it was yesterday, and it was on all of these celebrities signing this petition to get rid of like anti-black police terror, I think is the word that they use.
They wanted to get rid of police terror.
Yeah, and Messing hadn't signed. She wasn't listed as someone who had signed the petition, but she had tweeted it out, and so we screenshotted her tweet and put it in there, and then I guess she saw the article that she was in there, and she shared it. And what's interesting is because right below, literally, I think the sentence right below that, Jorge has the Patrice Cullors woman's video of her claiming that they're trained Marxists.
I had that in one of my videos, and I took a clip from How I Met Your Mother, where what's her name, Robin screaming, "Shut up, Patrice! Nobody cares about your opinion, Patrice."
Yeah, and then we also had we had the video of the guy in Chicago who was literally I want more police, more people here to stop this.
I wonder.
Yeah, it was. I just found it funny.
It's been a great 24 hours, John.
We should take bets, John, to see how long she actually stays following the bounding account.
I don't know. I don't think she's following us. I just know she shared that article from the page.
Oh man, let's just say that would be epic if she.
Yeah, because
and she's definitely somebody who has massive Trump derangement syndrome too.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, I was like
the red hair.
So that story had kind of run its course yesterday, and I was like, "What's going on? Why aren't we seeing more traffic on this story?" And then I was like, "Oh, it's coming from Twitter." And then I was like, "Oh, Deborah Messing shared our."
Wow, that's hilarious.
It makes me wonder how she found the site.
Yeah.
Oh well, Dean Cain definitely follows us. I know that for sure. He's tweeted. He didn't tweet us out recently, but he tweeted out one of our followers who I had retweeted about the Tom King stuff, because Dean Cain has no love for Tom King at all, it seems.
Oh no, he does not.
Oh no,
Really
no.
now? Why is that?
Let's get a campfire, guys. Let's talk about this.
Because Tom King went out and said "F you" to Dean Cain out of nowhere, and then tried to like disprove his point by like literally lying.
Literally lying about that issue where he has the wrong character say "truth, justice, in the American way."
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is like so easily. So did you not hear about this comics? Is this actually new?
I heard about the whole thing with
Okay.
Truth, Justice, American Way, and
Okay.
I know that Dean Cain got kind of blasted for that, but I didn't know about the whole thing with Tom King.
Yeah,
in
so
regards
Dean-
to that.
Yeah, so Dean Cain went on Fox News. I'm pretty sure he probably. I don't know if he read our story or not. I know he follows us, so he might have read our story, because he did read our story about Jerry Conway and the Punisher last year, with him going after the Punisher with that logo.
Yeah.
But and then he brought it up, like Jerry Conway brought it up this year, but that was last year. But yeah, so he went on Fox News and talked about that Time magazine article, like just crapping on superheroes, basically calling them cops, and they are like just crapping on them. And he was like, I will guarantee you that that Superman doesn't even say like truth, justice, and the American way. And then like Tom King was like, F you, Dean Cain. Like I put it in my comic like just this year. And that comic's
Comic
actually
that barely anybody read, and someone else had to point out that, Tom, did you even read your own writing? Because you had the wrong character saying the words.
Yeah, Superman wasn't even saying it. It was a soldier who was like saving Superman's butt.
Wow, that's hilarious.
Oh man.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
No, like it's true. I don't like him, and if you want to get under Tom King's skin, don't call him all the other things. Just call him a boring writer. That hurts him. I retweeted him once, my first interaction with him, and he blocks me because I called him a boring writer. And now it's like other people are starting to realize this stuff. I was hating on Tom King before it was cool, man. Like,
Nice.
I will say I liked his. He did a Vertigo series where it was basically. It seemed autobiographical to me.
Well, that's like everything Tom King writes.
Well,
at this
this
point.
one was actually like it was like in Iraq, and it was like a CIA agent. I forget what it was, and I actually liked that one. But then his Batman story, I think the first arc was decent with Gotham Girl, and then because I think
fake wedding.
Yeah, well, that was like issue 50.
Yeah, that was
the first arc is with Gotham Girl, and then I did like the part where like he goes after Bane and Santa Prisca, but after that, nothing, and it was just gimmicks, just bringing in like
Cat.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and that's
I
the
hated
thing
that
too.
issue.
That really was the icing on the cake. What was the whole bat wedding thing? And I don't.
Everyone hated that. There was
Yeah.
like no one that liked that.
I don't remember if I don't know if you remember this, but he actually went after Feisty Fan, who was a manager at a comic shop, and
Really?
he did her dirty, and she, I wouldn't say got in trouble with the previous owner, but there was some stuff. He made her life hell, and that's the reason why she kind of like dropped out for a while.
A scumbag, man.
Yeah, and then she had some personal stuff pop up, but yeah, I mean he basically tried to get her fired. He's a piece of work.
So the Jay Lee thing is basically repetitive behavior.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I didn't even know that. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so you're saying that a comics bro is a terrible person?
Well, which is funny because he's kind of like Dan Slott light at this point. I mean, yeah, fat joke intended too, but no, I mean, as far as like his behavior, because Dan Slott, he's definitely made some people's lives hell. I mean, he's like tried to dox Captain Frugal like numerous times,
Dude,
trying to figure out who he was.
2020 is not over yet. We have yet to see his final form.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
Well, you feed the
won't
man
be a
enough
super
cheese.
thing.
I mean, eventually he'll become the amorphous blob that he aspires to be.
All right. Well,
Look like Mojo.
Well, speaking, I was just gonna say, speaking of super things, we got a $5 super chat from Toxic Man Flu, and he says, "Script Doctor, that is low, hitting him with the truth. How dare you?"
How dare you?
We need Tom to
Thank you for the super
to have
chat.
that.
Send you that Greta Thunberg thing.
Yeah, he's really good at all that stuff. I got to figure out how to do that stuff. Maybe Don knows how to do all that stuff because we got all the banners and stuff here. I don't know if you need other stuff in the background to do all that stuff.
This is why I would just love to see Script Doctor have 72 hours uninterrupted, and he could come up with a brand new Star Trek series to save the entire franchise.
I bet you Script already has one already in his profile.
Yeah, I do.
Patiently waiting.
Well,
it will all fall apart soon, and then I can click send.
Yeah. And hey, look,
as soon as that secret hideout contract expires.
Do you ever take your Star Trek stuff and maybe do it as its own thing, or do you ever you have stuff that are ideas for big IPs, but you want to maybe pitch it as an original and just kind of?
I do what's called a mirror effect, where I write it as the IP that I would intend it to, and then I will rewrite it as my original IP in the event that I can't nail it, and that way I can at least tell the story with these newer characters in this newer world, and it's just it's a good contingency plan because it doesn't take me long to sort of make up a brand new world based off an existing script that I've already developed. It's pretty easy. The only question you have to match is the damn thing good or not? That's overall.
Dude, all your stuff is good in my book, but I'm partial because you're like my best friend, but still.
Yeah, so I can't rely on you, but not for that. I can rely on you for other stuff, just not for that.
That's the problem when you have your friends read your scripts, man. They're all great. You need someone who is impartial to say, this is crap.
Well, the better friends are the ones that say, this is crap, or you've done better, or give you the question. Yeah. Those are really hard to find because people are adverse to hurting other people's feelings, and I understand that. It's dude, when it comes to writing, you got to be brutal.
I'll still tell you if it sucks.
I'm pretty good at doing that, I think.
yeah.
Well, you better be considering you're editor-in-chief of Bounding into Comics.
Right.
Well, I have to say, man, you got to fire whoever edited your last article.
He says
that was me.
I just give you a hard time.
Yeah. You saw the comments, see here. Oh, you can't see it. I don't have it up, but yeah. Just minor errors that I
if I'm giving the Mary Sue shit, I got to give you shit too, just to be impartial.
Hey man, no, I'm probably my hardest critic. I'm just I see this stuff and I'm like, man, how did I miss that? It's period and a comma. And it's just
No, I've been there too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think people are forgiving with that. I think now people are very forgiving with simple errors like that.
Well, all they have to do is look at the writing for Discovery, and they'll be like,
well, I mean, you have to look at the writing for actual comics and whatnot, where the editorial clearly editing completely dropped the bag. So,
dude,
if Heather Antos can get a job as chief editor, anybody can. At this point. No, I'm not slamming John or anything. I'm just talking about at this point, if she can get a job being an editor. Or editor-in-chief, anybody can.
Oh, well, I created my own job. So.
Yeah. Much respected John F. Trent and his website.
Oh, what does Gary call me? The future Pulitzer Prize?
Yeah.
I laugh at that every time. It's great.
You get a big scoop. That will happen, sir.
Yeah.
I'll make sure that goes in the Phantom Menace volumes.
What was I going to say? You're talking about Marvel messing up. I remember we did a story. I was buying Punisher, and so I looked at their comic and I was like, they're how they have been doing these recaps. They had been doing. I don't know if they still do them now, but they had these recaps in the beginning, and they literally confused. They confused Jigsaw with who was it? With Daredevil or something like that. It's just what is going on? How did you miss this? And when
I was still reading comics, I just noticed there were so many spelling errors and words missing and double thes. You're going to the Batcave or whatever, and it was just dude, is anybody working over there? No, you're too busy on Twitter, obviously. But
isn't there a letterer that's doing that by hand, or is it all just digital now?
I think it's all digital.
It's all digital.
It's all hi-fi.
So then, what's the point of hiring a letterer if it's all digital?
He's the typist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you type out the words now. You take the
I'll
script.
type a word around
and
your
you type
dead
the word
body.
Dude, how much do you think they paid Tom King to write Batcat like for 20 pages?
Far too much.
Yeah. Way too much.
Yeah.
Probably got a nice bonus too, because that was around the time of the AT&T deal.
He's overpaid.
This was his pitch. Tom King's like, okay, Bruce Wayne has a mustache. And no, that's it. It's just him, and he's get cucked by Catwoman, but he's got a mustache.
Oh,
Wait, right? They tried to make him look like Tom Selleck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they?
From Hawaii Five-0 days. Yeah.
They did a whole like beach thing. They tried to animate or manga it up where he like takes a vacation on the beach with Catwoman.
And they just
and he looks like,
we're working out together on the shore or some crap like that.
Yeah.
It's just
it was total
so
Tom
boring.
Selleck. Yeah.
What issue was this? Was this before the wedding or after?
After, I think.
I was out, man. I was out after that issue.
Yeah. It was. I think it was a little after.
Like, cool, you let us up for like 3 years, and psych. I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Dude, I can't imagine how pissed the customers must have been at release night for that, where they had like the wedding cakes and everything. There had to be a lot of really angry people, including the shop owners.
Oh, I know the shop owners were like super pissed. What was interesting because didn't like Marvel have a Colossus and Kitty?
Yeah, and they
tried.
They did, but at least they made up for it. They got Gambit and Rogue married instead.
Right.
I mean, it was a total bait and switch. In a lot of ways, I feel what DC did was way freaking worse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It was like, look at all these Catwoman wedding
invitations that are
covers.
now worthless.
Yeah.
dude, the wedding dress pictures were dope, though.
Yeah, there was a lot of really good covers for that. It's a shame the story was crap.
DC was killing it with covers at that time, man. The covers were like freaking awesome. They had the covers without the trimming on it. A lot of them they were just kind of.
And they brought back
Virgin, but
a little bit.
Yeah, I mean that particular issue had a lot of really good covers. But I mean, you take a look at what happened with Marvel, where you had like 25 covers for Iron Man #1 with just like variant suits of armor. It's like, come on, that's terrible and lazy. At least they had some really amazing covers for issue 50.
What were you saying, Spencer?
Oh, I was saying it was even worse because you buy those 25 variant covers for that Iron Man #1 just for Iron Man #1 to come out again 3 weeks from then.
Yeah, pretty much.
A whole new set of variant covers.
You're thinking Miss Marvel.
That's why you don't buy variant covers.
Some of those variant covers can sell though. I know some of that stuff can get you a pretty penny.
Yeah, they certainly can. I mean, and like I said, some of them are just worth it for the artwork alone. I've never been a big variant cover guy, but occasionally I'll find something and I'll usually pick it over the primary cover.
Or primary.
All of the DC stuff at that time, I was picking the variant cover over the main cover with the trimmings and stuff because the art was. That's
the thing that made me mad though. Is DC really kind of had it where it was at for a while, especially when they launched. Oh crap. What was that thing that was called? That was really short-lived. The New Age of Heroes.
Yeah. With Damage and Immortal something.
I liked what they were doing there. They weren't doing variants. They were cheap books compared to what other stuff was. $5. It was like what, $3? And a lot of the stories were pretty decent. And talk about just having the perfect timing. Because at that point in time where Marvel was sucking at their primary characters, they basically had their alternatives. And surprisingly enough, the Damage was really good. Silencer, I really enjoyed.
Yeah. Brimstone had a really good premise, but it got canceled way too early to finish it.
Yeah.
Sideways I thought was interesting. It was a really good kind of Peter Parker knockoff, and then unfortunately, all of them got canceled. I mean, all those books are gone now.
And they had Immortal Men too, I think, as well.
Yes, they did.
I think Damage and Silencer had the longest runs.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Silencer even made it onto Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was a cool character.
Oh, you mean the TV series?
Yeah, she made it onto the TV series.
Oh, wow.
And again, talk about a perfect example of diversity being done right. They made her a minority character, and but it wasn't about her being female or being Hawaiian or Samoan, I guess is what she was.
I thought she was Malaysian or something like that.
Polynesian.
Yeah,
thank you. So yeah, I mean, it was an interesting premise. It was really well done, and it wasn't pushing an agenda. It was just a good, entertaining story.
And she was a single mother too, I think, right?
No, she was married. She had.
She was married. Okay,
yeah.
right.
It was kind of neat, like trying to watch her balance her home life with her assassin work. It was pretty good.
Did you so the chick who was doing the Catwoman series, her name escapes me now, but she had this really awesome Dark Horse series called Lady Killer. It was like set in the 50s, and so she's like a housewife who actually is like a CIA like assassin.
Oh, nice.
So she's having to like juggle her being a housewife with also like doing these hit jobs, and it was like really interesting because she would be like posed as like a cleaning lady, or just she would have to figure out like ways to like get into people's homes, and then eventually she has a falling out with the CIA, and she goes like freelance, so she just becomes like what's his name in like John Cusack's character kind of
in Gross Point Blank.
In Gross Point Blank, where she's like freelance now. Like obviously she's not doing stuff like that. She's still in the 50s and like, but she's just freelance. But yeah, that was really good. I really like the first series. I recommend that a lot. Lady Killer. All right, let's do we want to do we even want to talk about what Kurtzman and this Heather
I don't think it's physically possible for us to.
we can try.
Yeah, it's just difficult to maintain that line of subject.
Or do we want to talk about something else? I don't know. I think they're just lying. So,
I mean, that's obvious that they're lying. Right?
Okay, I'm not in the know. So what exactly did he say?
Okay, yeah. Well, I'll just bring it up then so we can do it.
However, I have to say, Perry Chan has a great meme of me punching him in the nuts.
Alex Kurtzman in the nuts?
Yeah, punching Alex Kurtzman in the nuts, because I said that in one of my reviews of Picard, and then I said it on Friday Night Ties.
Incredible.
Okay. All right, so this was an interview done, like I think in January, like leading up to. Is that right, Jorge? It's in January.
At the premiere of Star Trek Picard in LA,
right?
I think.
Whenever that was. But the guy, this guy from Space.com didn't publish it until like a couple days ago.
He sat on it till the summer. That's kind of weird.
He sat on it so he could write a piece like hating on Star Trek fans who.
Pretty much.
Well, it's leading up to to whatever is coming out next for Star Trek, I guess.
Yeah.
Waiting for that slow news week, I guess.
Yeah.
Or just waiting for the algorithm for all the Star Trek news to be from Comic-Con and then drop it.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that's what he was going for, but no one cared about Star Trek at Comic-Con.
You saw they were like they had so many views on that stream. It was incredible.
The main IGN stream, when I looked at it, which was like a day or two after the actual stream, was at 13,000 views, and then the one on CBS All Access was only at 3,000. No one watched it.
Disabled.
If How Heels versus Baby Faces Captain or Brie Larson video has more views than Brie Larson's actual video on your channel.
Yeah, I was noticing that too. Her first video had like like almost 2 million views. Her second video was like half that. Or no, her second video was like 500,000, and her most recent one was like 80,000 or something.
Exactly,
like,
80,000.
Super drop off.
Dude,
Already
as
a dead
his
channel.
As his video mocking it had more views.
I do need to watch that last one because I think there's a lot of probably politics in there, and there's probably some juicy stuff I can get.
Do you really?
She did.
You're a brave man.
Well, no, I mean,
Takes one from the
like
team.
I said, you're
gonna have
I
to
said
write
you gotta
it.
monetize these. Gotta monetize these people. Come on.
And look at this. We've already diverged again, guys.
Yeah.
Let's just do this. Day 5. Boom.
What did he say?
Story's done.
Okay, deep breaths. Let's just plow through it.
All right. Yeah, because we're at the end here. So Heather, I think her name's Heather Cadine.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Caden.
She says we always. So I get the guy doesn't tell us what his question was, but I definitely think he asks about toxic fandom because Kurtzman in response to that he specifically says toxic. But so she says we always read feedback. I think it's invaluable. I think to read feedback, and obviously, if one person has a specific reaction to one thing, yes, that's the one person's opinion and is a point taken. But I think there's a lot of value in seeing that a group of fans react to a decision we've made in a positive or negative way, because I think ultimately there are people who have been fans of the show for 50 years and who feel an ownership of the show beyond what we're doing with it. So I think to not listen to those reactions and listen to those criticisms, positive or negative, would be to do ourselves a disservice. And then Kurtzman would add, the fans have kept Star Trek alive for over 50 years. Their voice has actually been the most pervasive of all, and I think it truly belongs to them. That's not just lip service, liar. We really do pay attention to things they say, and we end up attacking in certain directions based on their input.
Yeah, right.
But I think hearing criticism is part of the conversation. If you're a fan, there's always going to be debate about Star Trek. I think generally Star Trek fans are a really good bunch. I don't perceive them as toxic. Yeah, but I don't perceive them as toxic, actually. I think there's a difference between debate and toxicity. Debate is essential. My feeling is that if you're at a 50-50 split, you're probably doing well. I don't think so. Driving half your fan base away isn't very well. It's when you're at 90-10 that you're in trouble.
What?
That's something like Ryan Johnson would say.
Yeah,
And
I
on
was
top
going
of
to say that.
50-50 is basically like you barely passed your course in high school, right?
Dude,
so you kind of
well,
don't want to have a 50-50 split on your grading system. You really do want that 90-10.
When I make a movie, I want everybody to hate it.
But I love the comment that he made about lip service, because he gives so much lip service. He does more than a gas station hooker at this point in time.
Oh.
Hey, you beat me to it, man.
I felt it in my bones. I had to say it.
So I just want to. I'm just gonna pound out this last sentence here.
There you go.
Generally, my feeling is that we listen. We try and incorporate what they have to say, and we're writing as fans ourselves. So it'd be foolish of us not to do that.
No, you're
They're
writing.
not fans.
You're writing as friggin' panderers. Oh my
They
god!
totally wanted
Taking
to
a
listen
big
to
old
their
steaming
fans,
dump
right?
on the legacy of Gene Roddenberry.
They totally want to hear what their fans have to say.
Yeah.
The comments.
Yeah,
turned
We
on.
want a
that's like
show
Rob-
that matches Star Trek. No greed, no racism, no hunger. That's all you have to worry about.
Hey, I like my Ferengi, and they're greedy.
no, that's fine. Like that's
Yeah,
Star
that's
Trek
fine.
stuff, not
to be greedy.
Quark
No,
is
I'm being-
great. Quark is probably one of my
Quark's the
favorite
best.
characters.
Heck yeah.
him and
I was being
Odo going
facetious
back and
there.
forth is great. I love those.
That was a great dynamic.
Oh, dude, it's my favorite part of the 6 episodes of Deep Space Nine we've already watched. I love Quark. He's my favorite character already.
We've diverted again.
Yeah.
It's still
That's the problem. We keep going back to better Trek. That's why.
We did finish it though.
I mean,
we have
let's
a
address
hold on real quick. We have a $2 super chat from Toxic Man Flu. He says, "I just want to give this guy a super wedgie."
That's where the underpants go over the face.
Let's just
I
give him a
agree.
front wedgie.
He needs one.
That's the Quail Man wedgie.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
I just
Jorge,
want to
what
punch
were
him
you
in the dick.
Just whatever
Uh,
comics just said right there. I agree. Let's just all take turns punch him in the dick for the rest of eternity.
But yeah, this guy's they're obviously lying. That's why they're turning the comments off. They turn the like-dislike ratio off. I did notice that the more recent lower decks like teaser still had comments on it. But I don't know. I don't remember if they had the like dislike
There's a-
showing.
There's a
They're all
bad,
from me.
there's a bad joke like waiting to be made about this, because I know like everybody has probably made it by now, but it's like, shouldn't it say lower dicks? Ha ha ha.
No, it's lowered expectations, lowered efforts.
Lowered expectations. Yeah,
lowered quality.
It's nudity in Star Trek.
You.
That's what we really want.
Did you guys see on Twitter the first technical scene of the pilot where the Mikey Spock ripoff stabs the other officer in the leg with a bat?
Yeah, I was there.
Oh,
I look at that. I'm like, first of all, she would be out of Starfleet immediately. Like, you can't accident that away.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not an easy accident report.
Oh my god.
That's like you assaulted a fellow officer while inebriated and like misusing private property from other cultures and species. Like, you're out. Like, you're bye-bye.
Contraband, right?
Go hang out with Tom Paris at that prison colony.
So I did find this interesting. So thanks to our good friends up in Canada who are actually tracking viewership numbers for Picard.
Thanks, Script.
We don't get to see that from CDS All Access. They don't show us that. Oh my gosh, Mark63. I just caught your comment out of the corner of my eye there. Lower Decks coming soon. Yeah, that's where it will be. It will be there soon. If it's not there already.
I guarantee you that particular site could probably create a better quality Star Trek.
Yeah, they'll
probably could.
Yeah, they definitely had a better Captain Marvel costume. That's for sure.
Just get Axel Braun working on a Star Trek series.
Yeah, but do you want to see space docking?
Yes.
having no space docking is no.
Unless he manages to pull off a zero gravity sex scene that doesn't look like they're hanging on wires, I don't really care.
Yeah.
All right.
God.
We're gonna veer away from this now. What did I get myself into? That was my fault that I didn't actually know.
Could you imagine like the finishing move where he's trying to aim and all of a sudden he just goes
what are we
drifting away?
I'm like, let's move away from this. Script is like, let's get into it. Let me describe
the we need to go deeper.
Super detail.
Remember, Script.
Maybe it's a good thing we close the border to your country.
Because we know in space that if you try and throw an object, you actually go in the opposite direction, right? So if you're belch or fart or something, or expel any fluids, you're going to go in the opposite direction.
Well, I mean, that's a new propulsion theory right there.
Yeah,
right?
man.
Yeah, that's right.
So if I'm floating in 0G and rip one of my famous ones, it's just going to propel me forward. That's awesome.
Yes, there's actually physicists that figured this out.
Yes, but
I
during
actually
the
read a long
procedure,
thread of how these physicists figured it out.
Nice.
All right. So according to our folks at Numeris, which is a Canadian tracking website, they actually told us that the first episode of Picard had 1.851 million viewers. By the final episode, it was down to 1.382. That wasn't the lowest. I think the lowest was something like 1.3, like just around there, flat. But I was actually feeling kind of nice, so I just went with the first and the final episode. And that's a 25% of the audience dropping off in just 10 episodes, over 25%. So what is that? That's what 75-25, right?
Yep. It's not as 50-50.
Yeah, not as 50-50 yet. So.
Good for him.
And that's just in Canada. I'm sure it was a lot higher here stateside.
Yeah, like our population is 10% that of America's, so you can basically safely do the numbers.
I mean,
so don't get ideas.
That's just shy of almost 500,000 people stopped watching the show in 10 episodes. That's insane.
That's 500,000 people who don't hate themselves.
That's the 500,000 people that are watching that one.
Catwoman's ratings weren't that high. Come on.
Catwoman.
All right. I need to see what the comics sent me a tweet.
No, it's the Perry Chan.
Okay.
That he did.
All right, I was like, is this safe? I gotta
No, if it's coming from Parrot Head, then that's
Parrot Head you gotta be careful of.
But Perry Chan is usually pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Mortal Kombat meme.
Yeah.
Oh, this meme. I'm sorry. There's no way. How you? It should be flawless victory here. You shouldn't even be taking any damage. Gotta fix that, Perry Chan.
No, the damage we took was him destroying Star Trek.
I definitely took damage from watching Picard. So
yeah, exactly.
That's an awesome.
It does say you've already won though, so you're almost at fatality.
I saw that. I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah, that's great. I'm retweeting that. Let me retweet that here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Fist of the North Star.
There we go.
Let me tag Alex Kurtzman in that.
No, because then I'll get kicked off Twitter. Somebody will interpret it as a legitimate threat, and I'll be destroyed, banned, or canceled.
He put Kurtzman in the Raiden outfit though.
Hey, I've already been banned 4 times. I mean, come on.
He should be in like a Shang Tsung outfit.
He should really steal the souls of others and
yeah, he should be.
There you go.
Should be Shang Tsung there.
Hey, I'm not going to complain. He did it on a very short notice. So.
Oh, I'm trying to be funny.
I know. I'm giving you a hard time.
Yeah. No, I really like that. All right. We're pretty much at the 3-hour mark, and this is kind of when we call it. So we'll go around the horn, and we'll start with Jorge.
Well, you guys can catch me at boundingcomics.com. Got some new stuff coming out tomorrow, almost every day as much as I can. And you can catch me at Past Stage 6 on Twitter. If anyone wants to Steam, I have my Steam ID on there as well. I'm risking the trolls, but bring it on. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
I do want to add, I'm sure Drew will bring this up a little bit, but yeah, I had to highlight that. Sorry. I had to highlight Mark.
Yeah, and then you slap him upside the head with it.
Hey, comics, remember in
you throw it
Universal Soldier? You're going to wear it like a necklace.
No, that's going to be like Your Majesty, where he has the Minotaur penis on it as a necklace.
Oh my God, yes.
That's awesome.
No, I could never take another Warriors trophy.
I wouldn't call that a trophy, man.
I wouldn't either.
But I do with Jorge. I do want to add we have launched the Bounding into Comics Twitch channel. I don't think we have any subscribers. We haven't done anything on it yet. But I think Jorge and Drew are planning to possibly stream some Dead by Daylight this Saturday. So just head over to Twitch, search for Bounding in Comics, and subscribe there. And look forward to Drew and Jorge streaming some Dead by Daylight.
It's gonna be a fun time. We're gonna pop the cherry on the Bounding into Comics Twitch channel. So make sure that you guys follow it and catch us on Saturday. We'll figure out the time and we'll get an official time out to you guys on Twitter. But it's gonna be fun, and Jorge and I are going to get into some of the new DLC and whatnot, and kind of run around Dead by Daylight and probably troll people.
All right, Comics Division, our special guest.
How's it going, everybody? You can usually find me streaming over at Gary's channel, Nerdrotic. Oh, by the way, I also have my own channel as well. It's a bit of a joke because when I met Rob Shlomo from Night's Edge, he's like, "Oh yeah, you're from Gary's channel." I was like, "Yeah, I got my own too." Rob's a good dude. You can also follow me on Twitter at ComixDivison, and occasionally I make videos. And every Thursday, I stream with Script Doctor and Drew Taylor. We talk about the insanity that is 2020 in the world that we live in.
And it's good.
Sweet. Yeah. Make sure you.
You guys are welcome to hop on board sometime if you guys want to.
Yeah. That stream is amazing.
Yeah, check it out. So maybe.
That stream spawned some great moments from me sleeping.
Yeah.
Well, you do that on here too sometimes. So
No, we get to eat it.
Never has that happened. When?
what? Yes, it has. We've heard you snoring.
It has.
We've heard you snoring. Yeah. Throw me an invite anytime. If I'm usually open.
Sure, man. We can definitely get you on tomorrow night.
Yeah, usually we get Tom and Christy, like a whole crazy crew.
Well, tomorrow night won't work for me.
We can go for next week.
Tomorrow night is pictures with the wife for we're really pushing it because it's maternity another like basically the last maternity shoot.
No,
that's a good excuse.
It's been rescheduled like 3 times, so I made sure it wasn't.
Yeah, you gotta get it soon before things happen.
Right.
Yeah, because we're closing in. We're closing in. The due date is in 2 weeks, so
Yeah. You got your go bag ready and everything, huh?
Yeah. All right, Drew, you're next.
All right, so I am Drew Taylor, aka Supreme Heretic. You can catch me on my YouTube channel, as I have one of those, and I am 4 subs away from the 300 mark. So now probably 3. So if you want to sub, it's probably a good idea if you do, because if you're a Battlestar Galactica fan, tomorrow night is your night. We do the Pegasus Actual podcast, myself, Script Doctor PhD, and then we have we've got a cast of thousands on there now. SD, my goodness, Jane Theory, Nerd Cookies, author Stephen Walton, sometimes Bear Nerd Fun is on there, and we just Culture Casino is on there as well. So we have an all-star panel bringing you great reviews of Ronald D. Morris Battlestar Galactica. And if there's any new Battlestar Galactica news, we will get that out there for you as well. You can obviously catch, as I was saying, you can catch me Saturday on the Bounding channel with Jorge, and also Thursday after my stream, of course, on the Great Comics Division's channel for his Thursday night stream over there. And of course, you can read me on boundingintocomics.com. And last but not least, yes, the news has been out there. It is confirmed. I am going to be the editor for the Fandom Menace volumes. Definitely volume 2 that's coming out that Stephen is putting together. So
awesome.
When I start to get some material from Stephen, I'm going to dive into that and start editing that. So I'm building.
Don't be afraid to use the vast resource that is Bounding Into Comics.
Yeah,
absolutely, sir. Absolutely. So that's the way our community is. We all work together and we all overlap. So that's a wonderful thing about this fandom community. So, all right, folks, on to you, Mr. Spencer.
Yeah, so as always, I've been Spencer Viculi. You can catch me on Twitter at Kabuto Writer Mav. I've got something up on Bounding Into Comics pretty much every day, so check out that reporting. I'm getting some games together now, so I'll also be running through the Twitch channel eventually. And on Friday, you can catch me and John back here for our Anime Rewind for G Gundam.
Yeah, we'll also be doing My Hero Academia when that's back. And what was the other one? Oh, and then I think we're going to be doing Gibiate as well when that starts, which is I think that's sooner. So yeah, that should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to those. It's out right now already?
No, I said it's sometime around now. I have no idea if it's out now.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We need to get Spencer a better mic. That's for sure.
Says the guy who went 2 years without a mic.
I was gonna be self-deprecating. You took it away from me, Don. You took my self-deprecating joke away from me. Yes. I can give people hard times now. I have the mic now, right? Yeah.
He put in the work. He was there.
All right. We'll move on to Script Doctor.
Again, thanks for having me on tonight. Always a blast chatting with you guys. So happy I was able to stay awake for this one because I'm on a sleep schedule where I wake up in 6 hours. Yeah, great talking with you all. You can find my channel at youtube.com/scriptdoctor. Content will be coming not as soon as I want it to, but it will be coming up. I've already clocked in 4 videos that are done, but I'm not releasing them until I get a bit more of a buffer so that I can actually mix in some more current content with my reviews and other things going on for the fall. So feel free to watch my old Star Trek reviews of Picard and The Mandalorian and the first 7 episodes of Batwoman reviews. If you enjoy it, please subscribe. If not, that's okay. I'm not going to hold a gun to your head. You can also find me. What's that, sir?
You said you had the Rise of Skywalker video you were going to do too?
Yeah, I've got I've got a Rise of Skywalker review, or at least how I would fix Palpatine's issues. I've got a whole bunch of other stuff. I've even I just finished recording my how I would do a Batwoman series that would be entertaining. So I'm gonna have to be editing that. I only have 1 day a week to edit my videos, but I do whatever writings and little recordings I can in between those days. So yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a while. I'm giving myself 4 weeks to get everything completely set in motion, so that the last 4 months of the year I'll have constant content going out while I'm also working full time. So it should all be good.
All right, yeah. Make sure you follow Script Doctor on Twitter and on his YouTube channel for sure. We've used him as I see Drew. He's distracting me. We've used Script Doctor as a source for a couple of stories. I think probably the most prominent was the Mandalorian story, and we're looking forward to get back to reviewing Mandalorian when that comes back out too. Maybe we'll have Comics will maybe join us for a Mandalorian review every now and then. Maybe.
Yeah,
for sure.
What
man.
new planet are we going to watch him level up on this season, right?
Our running gag with the Mandalorian reviews was that it's an RPG, but you don't actually like he gets his new armor.
I said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's like when he was fighting the Mudhorn, it was like the quick time events.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looked like. And, all we needed was the little button prompts to pop up.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So we have high expectations for the Mandalorian season 2.
Oh, lower those.
I just hope it's an hour-long episode because they at least can get some better opportunities for story in an hour. It was such a tight 20 minutes per episode. It's like
I have to admit though, I was rather impressed by the technology that they were using because all the sets were mostly projected backgrounds.
Yeah, stagecraft.
Except for the one on
new
Tatooine.
Technology, brilliant.
Yeah,
with the speeders was horrible.
The worst episode.
Crap. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the worst episodes.
All right, Don.
All right, I am dollfied like a doll. DOLL. You can catch me on Twitter.
No.
I've got some videos. What?
It's doll-fied. There's no I.
We got to be so careful.
There's 2 L's.
Yeah.
2 L's, no I.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, you could catch me on Twitter being a referee for most of the arguments going on, and
I don't see any stripes.
Yeah.
Where's your whistle?
he's got a bell.
Yeah,
He does have a bell.
The bell.
Oh, and it's yellow too. You can do that instead of a yellow card. You get yellow bell.
the yellow bell's for something else. But yeah, I've got videos coming out on my channel and stuff eventually coming out for the Bounding channel as well. So take a look.
What are you working on right now?
I'm moving away from Spider-Man because I realized all the characters that were introduced were from Dan Slott's writing, and it was pissing me off.
Oh, the Spider-Gwen stuff?
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, God.
Dude, do X-Men stuff, man.
Yeah.
Do stuff that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Do like obscure X-Men characters. That stuff's fun.
Maybe like Gold Balls or something.
Gold Balls. I love that guy.
I love that guy.
Talk about your great live streams, Don.
Oh yeah, and then Thursday I've got Thursday therapy going on, and then Monday I've maybe doing something new, different. I'm
Less
thinking
alliterative?
I'm going to call it Drawing the Male Gaze.
Is that going to be our panel celebrating
That's coming because I'm up to 90 subscribers on my channel. So once 100 hits, man. Drinking stream. Where you watch me get
and you get a URL. Once you hit 100 subs, you get a URL.
We're going to celebrate objectification in cinema and television.
Canceled.
Start with Planet of the Apes in the 60s.
Yeah.
Objectification?
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. Nova, man. Nova.
Yeah.
I was thinking Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
Oh, that works too.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. We want to give you a special thanks to ComixDivison for joining us. We appreciate it. We'll definitely have to get you back on the show.
It was fun, man. It was great.
This is one of our best shows. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was great chatting with you because I feel like when I show up on Gary's channel, we don't get to talk a lot.
No, we don't.
But that was good. It was good. So yeah, thank you all. We do this every Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. Like Spencer said, we will be here on Friday to do our anime rewind. We're reviewing Mobile Fighter G Gundam. I think it's episode 11. And then on Tuesdays we do Trek Tuesdays. I think we're gonna try and get ComixDivison on for that as well. I think we're on episode 7 for Deep Space Nine. I know it's called Dax. It's the Dax episode. Don will be ringing the bell quite a bit. I'm thinking.
Oh yeah.
In that episode. So that starts around 3. That starts at 3. And then we've actually been uploading a couple of videos this week. We got a clip from Netflix's, what is it called? Project Power with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. The clip's actually really cool.
Yeah, I saw it.
Guy gets shot in the head and like he goes down and then he kind of like repels the bullet and then he goes like ape on the guy who was like kind of invisible who was shooting him. It looked really the clip was really cool. Actually has me interested in the movie that's going to be coming out on Netflix. And then we turned one of Phil's X-Men stories into a video, 10 X-Men who can defeat Captain Marvel, which is always fun. So yeah, so check those out. Those are always fun. Spencer is going to, I think he's working on his God of High School episode 4 review. He really, if you haven't seen the third one, we got a little bit behind on the reviews, but so we didn't do 1 and 2, but he really has enjoyed the show so far, and he had really high praise for the third episode. So I'm looking forward to see what he has to say for episode 4. So look for that maybe tomorrow, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. So we got a lot going on. So thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next week. Have a great one.
Take care.
Take it easy.
Night.
Later.
Night, everybody.